Welcome to the GRG podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Ops, 100, live, and your host, K Mega 405. The GRG podcast
starts right now.
Here we go. Listen, before anybody starts trying to say K Mega's late, Kunistina, listen, I had dire situations going on here. Dire, I say, dire.
You're spoiling the damn dog again.
Yeah, I was doing spoiling the dog. What was is that we had a really crazy storm, and it happened this morning. And it was like, I mean, crazy wind, crazy rain. Looked like a monsoon out here. Like, it was really wild, right? And so it lasted about 2-3 hours. I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, man, getting prepped up and ready for the show. And boom, all the lights went out. The power just went completely, like, just shut down. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, it'll come back on. Because every once in a while, like, if it's a really bad storm or something like that, it'll click off and pop back on. Not this time. It stayed off for like 7.5 hours. And I was like, what the hell? But it was damn near the whole city out here where I'm at went out, except for, I guess, Tuckmaster. Tuckmaster don't live that far from me. So his area, but we're separated from like, you know, from like this like city block area. Like he's close, but he's not that close to me. But in a sense, I'm on the west side, and he's on the east side. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know which one is the richer side. I have no idea. But we're across the train tracks from each other. But his side, well, so obviously he had to be on the rich side because he didn't lose his power. But I did. So whatever the case may be, I had to do it. But I put it together, made it happen. We are here. Because I guarantee you, I said this to the fellas, if this was like a year ago, GRG probably would have been postponed till tomorrow. If this was 3 years ago, when I started GRG, we wouldn't even had a show. I've been like, hell with it. We'll just start next week. But I have progressed over time. Anyway, so what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. What's going on? Send it out to everyone. If you do not mind, hit that invisible like button. Well, hold on. I think the like button is there. I don't know. If you see it, hit it. The dislike, hit it, whatever. Don't care. Just hit something. And share this out, man. We are going live. We're going to talk about some good topics here. We're going to break it down. And we're kind of light, but you know what I'm saying? But that's okay. We have enough people here to make sure that the show stays consistently hot. And
it's a 4-pack.
Yes, a 4-pack. Might be a 5-6-pack by the end of the night. But regardless, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. So anyway, let me go up to the bums. First bum, 101, right here, 6 Slayer. Going on. I seen the mustache, man. Look like you had 2 handlebars from the 70s. What's happening with you, bro? What's going on?
Bruh, man, at least I don't look like Cornel West anymore.
I know, man. I'm beginning to look like Cornel West again, man. This beard, it has a life of its own. I'm like, okay, at first it wouldn't even grow. Now this thing is like, once it got cut, it's like, oh no, we're just gonna keep growing. I'm like, oh snap, but yeah, I feel you.
Well, now check this out though. This is the one that's really gonna bake your noodle. I'm at the point now where my beard has dandruff, and I have to buy special beard shampoo for it.
It's called Dollar Shave Club. You get it for $29.99.
It's called a comb, a beard kit. You know what I'm saying? From Iser Mike's or Miles, and put some of that them oils in it and stuff, man. And comb it out. I don't know what y'all cats out there on the East Coast do with y'all's beards. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I know when y'all come. Some of that shit be looking mangy. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Man, I have to cut down on the beard balm or something. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
Man, put some steam on it, man. You know what I'm saying? Get that, man. Comb that shit out, man. You can't be having dandruff in your hair, in your face hair.
Bro, man, I have a little itch. I scratch it. I'm sitting a little white. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, no.
Man, you sure that ain't lice?
you turn to Lemon with that one, man. I mean, Lemon was saying some fucked up shit. Wow.
I'm just
I guess I'm taking the L for that one.
Oh, you take the L for that. You take the L for that. But that's what, but hey man,
Wow.
I'm glad you letting everybody know. If anybody knows anything from my boy Slick Slayer to help out with his beard dandruff, which I've never heard of, I definitely don't have it, even though I have a mush woolly on my face. Regardless,
No. I got that
Tell them to send my address. I got a bunch of them from my Untitled Shade Club stuff. I got it for scalp and for your beard.
Good. Let my boy know 100. All right, Slick Slayer, no doubt. 100. What's going on with you, man? Help our boy out, man. What's going on with you, man? I know that you don't have a beard. I know you got that little. You got two whiskers like a rat.
Most of the time during the week, I do have a beard. I don't shave every day.
Oh, okay. So you gonna grow a beard like the rest of the
No, it itch. No, I grow to it itch. It cuts off. But
okay.
No, but I got to go to the office 15 days a week now, so I got to look, semi-professional. Can't look like Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
So I know y'all cutting uteruses on.
No. We good. We doing other things. So what games? Matter of fact, let me ask Slayer first. What games you been playing here lately, man? If you've been had the time.
What have I been playing? Oh, I just got Doom Eternal. And oh my god! Oh, I got that on sale on the Steam sale that just ended yesterday. I got that for $30. I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I was playing that, and game is just ridiculous, man. It's just the speed and the strategy and the locomotion, the ability to travel around, all mixed together, just like how Halo has the guns, the grenades, and the melee. Well, they got this speed, strategy, and weapons, and and travel all in one, and it's just like it's sublime gameplay. Like that's so good.
Nice. All right. Big shout out to Core and to another follower, man. Thank you so much for following following me on Twitch, because we're also doing this on Twitch as well. If you guys have not came over and checked me out on Twitch, please do. It's just KMega405, man, all one word, man. So come on out there, come and see the big man out here play these games. Win, lose, or draw, and come see me whoop 100's head again in Madden, because I know he's gonna want revenge. Oh man. Okay, so 100, what games have you been playing before I go to Bloody?
Oh man, I've been playing this game. It was in Gampass. It's called Observant. Observation. That's what it is. It's a space game. But the craziest thing, instead of you playing as the astronaut, you play as the AI, just like on 2010 or 2001. And you getting the message sent to you, but you making the decision: are you going to help these astronauts or not? So in this puzzle base, been playing Zuma Revenge. We've been playing Halo 5. We was playing that the other night.
Yep.
My Madden. I just go through games. If I'm in the mood to play, I'm in the mood to play them. So that's how we game over here.
Indeed. All right, and then last but not least, on the 4-piece tonight, Bloody Knuckles. What's up with you, man? You wasn't here was you here last week? Or was you off last week? I don't know. You take.
No, I was off last week.
Okay, you was off last week. I get confused sometimes. You take those banker's hours, man. I don't even know what you do anymore. Now, what's going on, man? What's happening with you? What games you been playing, and what's been going on with you other than streaming like crazy, man? I've been seeing you on Twitch, man, making it happen.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, you see how it is. I be grinding out on Twitch, playing all the games for all the people. Being unique, making sure that everyone's getting a taste of all the things that no one else is paying attention to. But I've been in my free time, I've been doing a lot of self-gaming, playing some stuff. Been finishing up a lot of the stuff in Yakuza 0 before I move on to Kiwami when I start streaming that next week. I actually am finishing up my 100% in that game, done everything off the checklist. Have 300 hours in this game and working on my last few achievements. When I start that second playthrough that I'm a speed run. But you know me, I was like, I be putting in work that no one else be doing and be playing all the Japanese games on that Xbox, because I can't be the Japanese enthusiast of gaming on the Xbox cam if I ain't showing what we out here doing. You know how it is.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. That is definitely true. Yes, I
Ain't no
was.
one be able to ever question what we do, especially what I do. I hold that crown very, very, very much earned.
I got you. I got
Wow,
you. I
he
see
just
you in
laid
this
his
game.
game down
Hey,
quite flat.
you know what? Hey, that's it. That's my boy. He's confident in his abilities and his skills. Have no problem with it. The man with the Satan rings. By the way, I heard that people in your chat on Mixer kicked Street out, Street 93 out, man. You know what I'm saying? Pardon my man, like Donald Trump is just pardoning this dude. Uh, that he's gonna give a little, well, some kind of semi pardon too. So man, let my boy Streets back into the thing. He said he'll do a little bit better, or he said he'll go in harder on you next time on Twitch.
Oh yeah. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. It's all right though. Streets gonna make his community payment. He's gonna be serving his time. He's serving
Uh-huh.
his sentence. Gonna make
Uh-huh.
sure to get back to the community. You know how it is.
Yeah. No, big shout out to Streets, man. He's a nut. He's always giving bloody a hard time on Twitch, man. But anyway, last point. Got to do a one more shameless plug, and then we're gonna get to work. And that is if you have not seen it yet, in the links to the description, it is the GRG apparel. Please check it out. You know what I'm saying? This is it's here. People asked for it, so here it goes. Definitely would appreciate you guys checking it out, letting us know what you think, and if you are looking for any other type of colors, the more support we get, the more that we can add on and bring more color schemes to the GRG apparel. So man, if you could be so kind to check that out, be greatly appreciated. All right, now, I see Live Wires in the building. You came in right on time, right? I was about to get to
We didn't
the
even
first
we
topic.
didn't do the dolphin call. We didn't put out the dolphin signal. God damn
Wow,
it!
He
really
just
come
came out of
without one.
nowhere. He didn't
I
know. He didn't know
know.
where. Yeah,
That's it.
Sleepy Goblin says get y'all's GRG baggy. Yes, I got to give me a GRG mug. We don't have the GRG mugs yet, but we'll get it. But we do
Not
got
mug,
caps,
beer
and shirts, and
stein.
hoodies.
That's what I need.
Yes,
Yo,
yes.
I'd be all about that. Can we get a DOS boot that just says GRG on it?
Maybe. Well, anyway, what's going on with you, Live? What's happening with you, man? What you been playing? What you doing? And then we're gonna get to work. What's up?
Not much chilling. I finally beat all the Spider-Man DLC.
Nice.
And I beat what was I playing? I'm still working on Doom Eternal. Still got a little bit left in there. I think I'm close to the end though. I just been jumping back on Forza.
Yeah, I know. There was a big update for Forza. I need to jump on that too.
Yeah, so I played some of that. I've been on Red Dead as well. Trying to start that over from the beginning. I mean, I'm enjoying that. So it's nice.
Excellent. All right. And as for me, man, the games I've been playing, man, I've been back on Sharinko. Is that how you say that game? Serico?
Sekiro.
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 Sekiro!
Hard ass damn game. Anyway, but it's cool.
Hey, K Mega. Before you go on, speaking of Sekiro, I remember. How did you like Hellblade? I saw that you were trying to dip your toes in the Soulsborne a little bit.
Oh, I recorded gameplay of that. I hate. You mean Mortal Shell?
Yeah, Mortal Shell.
Yeah, I got pretty deeper than I thought that I would. It's not bad. I mean, you know how I am about those Dark Souls type of games, but it is very reminiscent of Dark Souls. Mortal Shell, for those fans who loved Dark Souls, will definitely love it, and it has a cool little twist to it. I like the inner outer body thing that they do. That's pretty cool to me. Where
being able to switch.
yeah,
to different
and then you can switch bodies. That's where I see the Mortal Shell, where he can go in different bodies and control their spirits. It's pretty damn dope. On that game is just difficult, Jesus. And then also, and then I've been playing this game right here. This big shout out to Yobi, man. He hooked me up with this. I got it off the Steam sale. It's called what is it? Devil's Hunt. Really cool game. I mean, it was only like $8. I thought it was 20 at the time, but it was on the sale, so it was like $8. But you can see graphically, it looks cool. There's the fighting animations is okay, but you can increase and get better with it and things like that. But man, the game is actually really fun. And there's some cutscenes in this game that looks really spectacular. So try to check that out. And then, of course, like I said, I was playing Mortal Shell, I was trying to get into these all tough, crazy ass games. And then I also have another game that you'll see right after this where I've been putting in that work, man. Shout out to my boy Xbox 448. I'm coming for your neck, SSX style. All right, so let's get to work. I hear my voice in the background. Who is that? Where's that coming from? Okay, all right. Bloody, that's from you.
Is it for me?
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, so first topic right off the bat. Let's just get this out the way. I seen that people was tagging me about this whole thing about CD Projekt Red talking about um, that they weren't going to put their game on. They have no plan at this time to put any games, put their games, Cyberpunk 77 on Game Pass. And of course, come to talk out to be this is some big deal or something or whatever. So I'm going to go straight to you, Livewire. Get your thoughts on this. I mean, is this a really big deal because CD Projekt Red said that they weren't going to put their game on Game Pass? They said they don't have a plan to put their game on Game Pass at this moment. I mean, because I've seen stands going crazy saying, "Oh, this is a slap in the face for anybody that said that this game was going to come on Game Pass."
I don't see why this would be a non-issue.
You sound real low, bro. Come on, man.
My bad. This is a non-issue. This doesn't. I mean, the game ain't even out yet. Like, I mean, people who have podcasts have suggested that it might come to Game Pass, but this was never a thing between Microsoft and CD Projekt Red. So I don't even understand like why people would even run with that as being a thing. That's like somebody talk on multiple people on their podcast talking about the PS4 is going to come out at $250, and then Sony says it's going to be $400 or $500, and then people getting mad like, "Ooh, that's an L. That's an L, Sony." I'm like, bro, that don't even make like Sony ain't never say that shit. So it's like, what the hell? But it's a non-issue, man. I don't know where these dudes get this shit from.
I got you, no doubt. Thank you, Infernal Lock, for the in the super chat saying sup to everybody, man. What's going on with you, Lock? Appreciate you coming by, saying what's up to the people, to the family, man. Really do appreciate it. All right, man. Let me go to you, Slayer. What is this? I mean, like I said, this was the first topic. Let's get this out the way because if anybody has anything that they want to talk, they got somebody want to bring it out in deep detail, then please do. But I kind of look at it like Livewire. I don't see this being anything to go crazy on. I guess maybe the fact that even I've speculated and others have saying that, hey, man, there's maybe a potential that CD Projekt Red could put Cyberpunk 2077 on Game Pass day one. But other than that, I don't see where there's some big L coming from. Do you?
Not at all. When you ask me what is this? See, that's exactly what I'm saying. What is this? I didn't. You said also that you didn't know that this was going to be such a big thing. I didn't know this was a thing. Period. Like, yeah, who expected CD Projekt Red's new big game? Coming after the crazy success of The Witcher 3, and now we're getting a game entry in a beloved, low-key franchise that's been highly influential in media in general for 30 years. Who would expect that to be on Game Pass? That's a massive, people talk about these AAA and quadruple A. I never subscribed to any of that, but you put the most A's on that game right there, and it's not even out. It's that clear that this is what this is about to be right here. Who would expect this to be on Game Pass? Maybe years down the line, and the quicker that does happen, the more kudos to Microsoft that they were even able to get it, say, like in a year or 2 years. Because to me, I feel would be even a shocker in my eyes, because the game is set to be so successful that they don't need Game Pass or anything else. They can sell the game and profit like they did with The Witcher 3, meaning for years. So I don't know how anybody thought this was. I didn't know about this until you put this in the topics at all. This is a complete surprise. Who's this stupid?
Well, I mean, hey, look, they were like I was reading the comments. I when I first turned about
Before I was gonna say, Sick, you realize that this was a topic that we mentioned about a month or two ago when there was first talks and rumors of it supposedly being something that might happen, and we did talk on it.
For Cyberpunk, listen. For
Cyberpunk, we did this. We did this about 2 months ago.
Yeah, but in my opinion, maybe I didn't have this opinion before, but I do now, that for Cyberpunk to come anytime near launch, right? And anything less than a year, to me is not only major, but a major coup. Like something big, like a feather to put in Microsoft's hat, like a big score. That's how big I see this, and thus highly unlikely. Not that it can't happen, not impossible, but I really don't see it being too possible. But if it ever happened, oh my God, that's megaton right there. Because if you're buying a Series X that's at launch, it's probably going to have a code for Game Pass for what, like 3 months, or even if it was just a month. A month to play Cyberpunk, the new hot game, for free with the system?
I mean, if people pre-ordered that brand new Cyberpunk 1X, they got a code for the game. And that's that's 1X, not the Series X.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's not too much of a far stretch if you go from there.
Yeah, you're making your point there. I still stand where I'm saying, but like I say, not impossible. And if it would have happened, this is a major thing, a major positive on the Xbox side, frankly. But I just don't see it being possible. That's all.
Okay, all right. Bloody, I'll go to you last. I'm going to go to 100 on this one. I mean, what do you think, 100? I mean, is this like this really big deal? I mean, because I know I speculated on it because we were talking about maybe Xbox would be looking to try to purchase CD Projekt Red. I mean, we looked at the situations that would happen with Sega's game, with Streets of Rage, and how that came day and date. And so, yeah, I speculated on it. I said, hey, there's a possibility with it because they have a strong relationship. But, I mean, I didn't set anything in stone, and neither did anybody else that I know that's in the YouTube space set it in stone. They just basically was doing the same thing, referring it to people, just saying, hey, this could be a possibility. So what do you think, man? I mean, is this so-called big L that Stans is coming up with?
I don't know what they're talking about. I know the two parties was talking about it at first. They were talking. It was family member to family members having a conversation on the interweb.
Mm-hmm.
People saw it. They ran with it. Now, one of them is known to get the ponies will go after him for no reason. You know, he a pony killer, pony slayer. You know him.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And so when it was said, they took what he was saying out of context, and this is how it all started. Just like you said, it could be a possibility. We are theorizing. We wasn't saying that it was. I never thought it would. Why would you put it day and date? Yeah, just because they own the marketing rights don't mean that it was going to come day to day. Streets of Rage was a small game. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I forgot about that.
Bro, that was different. This is people have been waiting for Cyberpunk forever and ever and ever. So why would you just sit there and say, well, I'm going to have this in Game Pass? That means you're alienating your other fan bases from PC to PlayStation. That don't make no sense. Now, down the line, it's possible you could do it. Fallout 76 is in that bad boy. You got Soul Calibur 6. You got all these games coming in Game Pass. You got Fallout 4. You got The Witcher. That's the complete edition in there. But that's after years or, you know what I'm saying, where they feel like they didn't see no player base and like, hey, let's throw it in Game Pass for a minute. You know, it wasn't like it's going to hurt it. And then when they want to snatch it out, they can snatch it out. You're going to get it as a discount. And they ain't charging you full price anyway. Because the time it goes in Game Pass, it's probably like $49, $39, $99 anyway. So people, I didn't see no L, but, you know, they ain't got nothing to run. They nervous for they nervous for next week, Thursday of next week. See, they on watch. They on the hunt. So, you know, they taking people's name. And I just saw Xbox people jump on that person too. And I'm like, that's not right. But I don't jump in people's battles, and now he's good enough to handle his own battles. But you know what? It ain't no big thing. CD Projekt Red, what they said, not at this time.
Yes.
So you have to read like, not at this time. We ain't thinking about that. But that's because people was probably hitting their sites. They were not trying to alienate PlayStation or PC. But if we're in Game Pass, PC probably would have got it too. Game Pass.
Oh yeah. I
think wow.
Yeah,
that makes it impossible now in my eyes. I'm sorry. I just crossed the line. I'd even consider that. That's impossible now.
Yeah. So I'm like, nah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to alienate it. And they said they already came out. We're going to do smart delivery. So if you get it now on your X and you want to play it, I think they push it back because they want more people to play on the X, their version on the Series X than the other ones. But if you can, it's available for it. And then when you do, they were the first company that said we're going to do smart delivery. They right on board with it. So they wasn't putting nobody up. People take stuff now and they run with it. And they go and they think they're going for a home run and they ball one foul.
No doubt. All right. Bloody, you got the floor, man. I mean, what is it that I mean, you've heard what everybody got to say. I mean, I do want to say this one point. If what 100 said about the smart delivery, I mean, isn't that really in another sense it would kind of wash out Game Pass if it would come on day one? You know what I'm saying? For so many people that's going to pre-order the game to go on the X anyway, wouldn't it? Pretty much, kind of. I mean, I know there were people still be getting it on Game Pass, but if people already pre-order the game, let's say right now, then they're going to get it for free on the Series X anyway.
Yes,
right?
but that's yes, and
Okay.
that's a fair point. Is that the smart delivery is something that they're utilizing, but you think that the way that it was supposed to be is that when they were going to launch in September, they get the current gen version, both PS4 and the Xbox One X, and then the smart delivery was going to really help to utilize with pushing for next gen, because once they get the next gen versions all set, the consoles launch, then smart delivery will be able to say, hey, guess what, you own this. There is a version that is this gen, and there's the version that's optimized for the One X, and that they're sharing the same information. Then it would help to just update all the correct assets that are utilized on the Series X. Now that you're looking at it, it's still utilizing the smart delivery. It's not. It's absolutely is. They're still behind that. But now that you look at the fact that the game is now launching day and date on PS4, PS5, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, I think the biggest thing that people were looking at was the fact that, well, they were giving the game away with those who bought the Cyberpunk Xbox One X. If it was in Game Pass, the next gen and stuff like that, when the game launched, or even with this gen, more people would have access to it, and that many people would absolutely want to take advantage of the discount that they get through Game Pass, and the fact that anything that has CD Projekt Red's name on it, they always will support. I mean, if you think about one of the most consumer-friendly developers out there and publishers that a lot of people absolutely stand behind, who's released a game multiple times and people will buy that version over and over and over again, it's been CD Projekt Red. You guys think about how many versions there were of The Witcher 3, all the DLC, the Game of the Year, then the re-releases, and everything else, and then all the updates to it. That's a game that continues to still make hand over fist, second only to GTA 5. GTA 5 has never stopped making money. That game is literally what happens when you just put a game in a printer, and that printer is just money. That is GTA 5. The biggest game after that was Witcher 3. Of course, you look at Skyrim, and Skyrim's been remastered, reproduced, re-released every which way 5 days from Sunday. But the aspect is, I think people were really looking at the relationship between Microsoft and CD Projekt Red, the deep marketing that Xbox has for Cyberpunk 2077 with CD Projekt Red. The fact that they continue to keep doing these special collaborations, the fact that there was talks of CD Projekt Red possibly being acquired. Let's again possibly, because we know that Microsoft is announcing that there's been rumors and paperwork showing that they're picking up a studio in Poland, and one of the biggest names that obviously stick out was always CD Projekt Red. I think that's really what fueled that fire of Cyberpunk possibly going to Game Pass, was because of the fact that there was thoughts that they were going to acquire CD Projekt Red, which is a very, very long shot. However, it doesn't mean that's not possible. Money talks. Money talks, bullshit walks is what they say. And if there's a big enough deal and a big enough paycheck, a lot of people will typically do for it. However, you look at CD Projekt Red, they're not hurting for money. They make plenty through GOG. They make plenty off of the residuals that they've gotten from The Witcher 3, and the fact that they've continued to get grants from the country of Poland themselves to support the technology and the kind of achievements that they're making when it comes to development, and how they've gotten money for those grants from the country itself. They don't need money. It would have to be a worthwhile deal and goal for them to absolutely want to do a partnership like that, or to sell out. That's the only reason I think that people were looking at CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077 possibly being in Game Pass, is because they were waiting to hear an announcement that they were being acquired, and that would be something that they would use to absolutely boost the sales for that game, but also boost Game Pass sales, because you'd be double dipping. Because one, you would push sales towards Game Pass because people want that service, and they can get that promotional the first time and be able to get in on it, and then do all the conversions and stuff like that, because people still forget that they're still offering the conversions of prepaid Xbox Live Gold or prepaid just Xbox Game Pass before it became Ultimate, and still converting that over whenever you first get Ultimate. So there's still people who are racking up time easily. So why wouldn't they want to? Why wouldn't you look at it in that aspect? Why wouldn't they want to do that if that were the case? Right now, it was all uncertainty because no one knew for a fact.
No, and that's the one thing that I think that the stands are not really understanding is listen, it's if let's just say that CD Projekt Red, because they are known to pull legs, they are known to kind of troll on people or whatever, and give this indication because this game is going out everywhere, and it comes to the point to where they're like, look, we want to get as many pre-orders as possible. We want to get as many people to buy this game as possible. If you come out and say, well, this game is ready to go on Game Pass day one, how many pre-orders would be dropped? Just think about that.
Yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
and
it's
again,
a financial decision as well.
Yeah, but well, you also got to think too that it's not necessarily a financial decision. They've also said any game in Game Pass has absolutely seen a massive boost in sales, especially for smaller titles.
Right.
But there's also been a resurgence for older games or bigger budget games that have gone in Game Pass. But you look at the fact of the aspect of that whenever a game goes into Game Pass, especially ones that drop day and date, people fail to keep realizing that Microsoft gives a very large check and payment to those companies to one, help mitigate their risk, right, but also give it a chance to kind of be able to reach more people. That's why a lot of smaller indie devs and stuff like that, and others who launched their games day and date, say that Game Pass has been a major financial success for them, because they're getting help from Microsoft for being able to launch it day and date, because of the fact that that Microsoft's also given them a little bit of, not necessarily incentive, but a help of risk mitigation, right? But they're also seeing the game as reaching more people than they originally had planned for. You look at something like that, that is absolutely something that is very lucrative and something that would be very eye-catching to any developer. Realistically, that is something that a lot of people would want to take advantage of. Why wouldn't they want to do something like that?
No, I totally agree. I just look at it from the standpoint of the only it really is a non-issue. I mean, when I put it up there in the chat, like, and PK was like, "What? Why? What is the purpose of this?" Like, and I'm like, "Look, man, I mean,
He's
look,
also saying where's his
it's
game
kind of
play, by
like,
the way.
yeah, like I mean, it's really not. It's a non-story. It's what people are trying to divert, which we're going to get into here really shortly. Uh, is what the stands don't want to talk about. There's two factors here that they don't want to talk about, and we're going to discuss that because that's one reason why I wanted to discuss this here because I guess they're trying to because when I got tagged on it, I guess I was supposed to be upset, you know what I'm saying, or like, oh man, yeah, I'm wrong on that. No, I mean it's just no different than anybody else from the PlayStation side or from Nintendo side or for just anybody that makes a speculation on something, and if it doesn't seem like it's going that direction, or if they were wrong, then all it was at the end of the day was a speculation. There are people like if I just said no, mark my words. If I said like 100 say put it on the wood that this game right here is going to Game Pass, then that's a different story. But this is speculation because of what Bloody was saying earlier. Was that like there's people that's going to I mean that you know the rumors were going around about CD Projekt Red was one of those polling teams that were in negotiations. Uh, but yeah, it's a long shot.
Rumored to be in
Yeah,
negotiation.
rumored to be in negotiations, and just like this. Now, I understand that people are still trying to bark about the whole game from Control not being on Game Pass yet. Mark my words. Now that one I'm going to put on the wood. That one's coming. That one's coming.
But to be fair, that one when that came out was understandable because
Yeah, because Phil brought it up. Yeah.
yeah, but people forget that when they talk about those games and things like that, some of those deals may be something in discussions, and not anyone, or at least the developers in them, can't always talk on it. He
Right.
can say something because of the fact that he's the top of it all. But when those things come out, it's unknown.
But Bloody,
We don't know for a fact.
Bloody.
Yeah.
One thing it ain't in Game Pass, and it went on.
It was not.
It went to PlayStation because PlayStation had the marketing.
This is all, but this was after the game was already launched.
Yeah, but then you still have the marketing rights. You still have it. Just because the game launched, you still have the rights to market that game.
But he wasn't marketing
it's
it.
like Microsoft, even though they Tomb Raider, they market the hell out of Tomb Raiders. Even when it came out, they can market the hell. That's why you see some games that you see that Microsoft market goes in the Game Pass faster.
Now let me throw in another little point on this before we get to the next topic talking about PlayStation. And this is also something else that I got tagged on, which I've heard this from Phil Spencer, I don't know how many years ago. But again, every time that Phil Spencer makes a quote, there's always somebody that's trying to make this like, oh, this is new news. This is brand new. Oh my God, this is new. We've never heard Phil Spencer sit there and say this. And here we go again. So let me just ask you guys this. And this could be a little roundtable discussion. So we can make it a little quick because it's really nonsense. But okay. So Phil Spencer brings up the point about he believes that generational exclusives are completely counter to what gaming is all about. So basically, he was saying something that he said years ago that they want to get away from generations. Sony has said themselves they don't want to be they want to keep the generations because that's more profitable for them. Feels like look and he was just more adamant when somebody asked him about this, I guess in an interview and it got dropped today. He's like, look, this isn't, I'm pretty adamant. I want to be on a soapbox about this, but I just feel that that's not friendly, gamer friendly. That's not consumer friendly to alienate people who have already bought your product and not given a chance to play on older hardware. And that's basically it. Phil has been said this. So who want to jump on this? I mean, why is this another issue for stands to try to drill this home that Phil Spencer is on the wrong side of this when this is a customer friendly situation?
I think we'll all have. I'll start it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, man, Phil is looking into the future, right? Where boxes won't be a thing anymore, right? Because we could say in the next 20, 30 years, will we still be playing on a console? Likeliness of that is highly unlikely, right? At that point, you shouldn't be held to a device to, in order to be able to play your games, right? And that's the direction that they're pushing into. Now you're you're talking about people that are trying to evaluate the moves that he's doing for the future based on, stuff that was done in the past. But you can't always go by that, because if that was the case, then the iPhone would have never been a thing, because they had to be forward thinking in order to create something like that. Because prior to them making the iPhone, everybody told them it was a dumb idea. You see what I'm saying? So you got a lot of people that are, what can I say about this? The internet is a blessing and a curse.
Amen.
Because there's a lot of information, but the key thing about information is you got to be able to process it, right? I can give you all the numbers in the world, but if you don't understand mathematics, what the fuck are you going to do with it? See what I'm saying? Just like, even if I gave you a problem and then I gave you the answer, just because you tell somebody else this problem has this answer, that doesn't mean that you know what the fuck you're talking about. That just means that you know the answer, but you have no fucking clue how you got to that answer. You're a fucking idiot. Right? That's basically what you see on the internet. You're seeing Phil telling you what they're doing in the future, what they're aiming for in the future. People not understanding that because they're not in the room. And even if they were in the room, there's no guarantee those motherfuckers would even know what the fuck is going on. So, it is what it is.
Okay. All
Next
right.
person
Anybody?
up.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say on this?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like I said before, more than a couple times, that I'm big into retro gaming, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so I'll play anything from any generation in a row. I'll play King of Fighters 95 to put not too specific a year on it. Then play some Legend of Zelda. Play some Thunder Force 3, and then play Doom Eternal right after. I actually did some kind of mix of that today, in fact. Ending on Doom Eternal. And the thing about it wasn't about the generation didn't matter. It was just about the game. Is the game fun? Is it entertaining me? Hell yeah, there were. Multiple games were. And it didn't matter how old or new they were. And there are some games you play and they remain in the memory. You remember playing them even if you haven't in a long time. Like, say, Street Fighter 2. You have that muscle memory, and even if you haven't played it in 4 years, you grab a controller and around it to you back at it, and they remain. So you get a system, next system comes out, you want to play that game, you have to buy it again for no reason. And the generation after that, generation after that, generation after that. And Xbox, I always thought, was the brand that brought PC advantages to the console arena. They brought hard drives and multitasking and all that stuff, and voice chat, online gameplay. And I think this was another element of that. That you have a game, you get a newer, more powerful system, but that doesn't mean all your peripherals, your software and stuff, you have to reset from ground zero all over again. That makes no sense. Halo 1 is as great today as it was when it was first released. Now we can continue to play it on whatever Xbox is out there in the future. And I don't have to rebuy the game. It's that simple. Anybody who's disagreeing with a future like that is either stupid or they have some sort of alternate agenda. I leave it to you to figure out who's on what side. And that's what I got to say on that.
Anybody else want to touch on this?
Yeah. The kind of last thing about it that I want to say is that you got to look at it in this way, and the fact of generational games. We saw kind of this generation that there was already companies who were looking at wanting to do cross-generational games, right? Look at Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Call of Duty Ghosts, a few others, right? They had a 360 PS3 version, PS4, Xbox One version. There was already companies that were looking at doing cross-generational games. Fuck. Sony did it themselves with the remastering of all their PS3 exclusives. Why are they going to make you pay twice for the same game instead of just making it where it's easily transferable between the last gen version and the next gen version? What he's saying is that even with the fact that they know that they're coming out with a new console, that they're making a new generation, right? The aspect that he's trying to focus on is when you make those next generation consoles, yes, you want games that are going to absolutely utilize and absolutely push the boundary and want to take advantage of that next gen power and everything that it offers that it may not be possible on the current gen, which is great if it's coming from third-party devs, like we saw with the Xbox Inside Showcase, from games like The Medium, Bright Memory Infinite, or others, Scorn even, because Scorn was originally supposed to be this gen, and now they're pushing towards next gen. But why is it that first-party studios, the publishers themselves, wouldn't want to get as many people on that game? And on the current gen, where they have their highest install base, and also those who are going to upgrade to the next gen consoles, people fail to take into account that when you look at next generation consoles, while the price has stayed the same and you adjust for inflation and things like that, that a $500 console now may not be the same as what it was 10 years ago, right? However, that's still $500 for a brand new console that you then have to turn around and spend more money on those games that may only be on that. But if you put all the games that are on that console only on that console, and all the games from last generation don't work next gen, then you go from having a game catalog or a entire, just you look at all the games you own your licenses right now on your PS4 or on your Xbox One, you look at this 400, 500 games that you own, and then you look at the next gen console, none of those games work or carry over. You went to a library of only 5, maybe 6 games, and then have to start over again.
Yeah.
Why would you want to take that entire waste of money? When you look at it that way, is that you're not going to be able to utilize or play those old games anymore. Why would you not be able to carry those libraries forward? Yes, that's why we saw the push for backwards compatibility with Xbox One and everything that the Xbox ecosystem did. Now, PlayStation 5 is having to have a form of backwards compatibility, and I hope that they get it working just right, because we saw how hard backwards compatibility on the 4 was, even going back to the 3. So if they're just going to make full generational exclusives, you're completely locking out all the money people spent on all these older games because they don't work on the next gen consoles. So why would you not want that? Why would you want to lock people who are dropping $800 and can't spend and support and play the old thousands of dollars of games that they have in their library? Not everyone keeps their old gen consoles and things like that. They
Y'all
tend
got
to
a dog now?
I've had a dog. She just won't shut up because she's getting water.
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, damn, who's over there wanting to bark like a dog? Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the aspect of it is that you look at it like that. If there is no support for last gen games or anything like that on next gen consoles, then that's thousands of dollars people have sank into gaming that they can't carry forward. That will no longer be of any use. So you go from those $400, $500 or 500 game libraries down to 6, and that's just not good at all.
No, it's not. And that to me is where the issue is where it's funny to me, because there's these PlayStation fans that has this notion that Game Pass is bad, rebuying remasters is good of games that just came out last generation. But then on the same on the different end though, other PlayStation fans by a huge margin has stressed that they want backwards compatibility. So somebody is wrong here. Either it's the stands or it's the PlayStation fans that actually see the benefit in backwards compatibility. And I've said this a million times. I will continue to say this. The PlayStation 4 going into the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 will have the same problem that the 360 had and what the PlayStation 3 had. Because their fan base was so big that there's going to be gamers that's just not ready to commit, and especially those that are late adopters that says, man, I just got me a PlayStation Pro. I'm not ready to spend another $500 or $400 on another console when I just got this last year or 2 years ago. I'm cool with what we got. Look, I got The Last of Us. I got Ghost of Tsushima. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not ready for anything else. And that's why I look at what Phil is doing with Xbox and is taking it like, man, this is the positive direction. I didn't understand how PC's thought process of how people can play their games without that whole generational gap is a problem. I thought that was something that all consoles was going to try to reach or attempt, because that's what keeps games having a longer life cycle with crossplay and the fact that you can play those old games. Like for instance, when we have Fight Night and we play Street Fighter, like that's a 360 game. So why would we, if from some of these people's thought process, if they never if they didn't make a remaster, that means that game would have to go away with the dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? And we would never have the chance to experience it because it didn't have a remaster at all. And that to me is just really ridiculous. That's why backwards compatibility is important. And Sony is over here trying to wish on a star for a lot of people, and they think that they can try to hold on to some of these people. But once they see the reality that their backwards compatibility is not going to be anywhere near Xbox's, that's going to be a problem. Like I said, people, I didn't know being customer friendly was an issue, but it seems to me that only if it's not with Sony customer service, then it means that it's bad for everybody else, and I think that's bullshit in my opinion. So anyway, all right, let's get on to the next topic, and let's talk about Sony for a second. Now we talked about Xbox, talked about Phil. Let's talk about Sony and what's going on their end. And why they're not talking about this, I have no idea. I find this pretty amazing, because if this was happening to anyone else in the industry, I think that Sony fans would be talking about this in a crazy position. I mean, talking about this like really loud. But all right, so somebody sent me a video about Sony is having not only PSN issues with their games, but they're also having issues of their games just disappearing from people's libraries. Now, I seen that there was a fix on how to bring back the PSN or PlayStation Now games, but I still haven't seen a fix on how to bring back those games that people have bought that has been erased from their libraries. This is something that came out today. Nobody really wasn't talking about it. The person that dropped this information, he's a bigger YouTuber, but it's one of those things where I'm like, this is a customer-friendly situation. This is customer service. And also in his video, he stated where, and I'll have to put that link in the description after the show. But he also stated that people have called. It's been on Reddit. It's been publicized all over the place that they have called customer service, and then some of the customer service looked at it as that they was people trying to get free games, and then other people didn't have an answer because, of course, they work off of reading off of some dialogue to try to navigate themselves to get to the right source to fix the problem. But there is no source because Sony has been secretive about this. And people are all of a sudden they had an update and they lost their information. There's games that they bought, they're just gone. And the fact that they're not only gone, their licenses is, I mean, their where they bought the game and it shows in their account history, it's erased out of there too. Now I already know that Sony is really quick on cutting servers on certain games. Like they do that with MLB all the time. I think that that's going to be a maybe, I don't know, well, Sony could do it. I don't know what's up with the new negotiation, but I know that they've done that with Gravity Rush. They've done it with multiple games where they just cut the servers off after about a year, after maybe about a year or two, maybe 3 at the most. But this is definitely different. This is serious. For people who's buying games and then all of a sudden they want to, and then they got it stored and they buy them digitally. And this is also bad for people who buy it with a disc too, because you can show that you have the disc, but if that information is not in their account history, how can you talk to Sony and convince them to give you that game back? You can say you got this disc and this is there, but they can say that you got that somewhere else, or people can fraudulent or can make fake receipts or whatever to try to get free games. But it is a huge problem. And on top of this, on top of what that guy was saying in that video, they're trying to sell you an all-digital console. How is that going to play out if they can't get these problems resolved? So I'm going to go straight to you on this one, Slayer. What the hell is going on with Sony? Why is it that they haven't made this public, at least to try to damage control this situation, to let people know that, hey, look, we are aware of the situation, we are trying to fix it, but they're staying quiet, hoping that people will stay down. And what is the PlayStation community that stands tall and proud for their so-called PlayStation community to let them know, hey, just be weary of what's going on, or be upset about this?
Direct and to the point.
Where are they at?
Answer. Oh, speaking of where they at, yo, PK asked where his Smash Brothers game played, but that's other topics. Anyway, back to
all you gotta do is look at his look at the screen.
That's what he's asking about. He keeps asking. So
why does he keep asking when I think he's trolling.
I think he's just trolling.
Either way. Okay.
So listen, man. The blunt answer to your question is, the first question you asked me of the like 3 you asked me is because Sony sucks ass at this shit. How many times have they had server problems and all this other crap happen? You know, accounts stolen and all this stuff. They suck at it. Their response is crappy in terms of dealing with the public, in terms of actually dealing with the problem in and of itself. All aspects of that stuff, they suck at. When it comes to these servers, they suck at it. We've seen them suck at it for a long time. Countless points we can point to. We all have the receipts. We all know them by heart now. Okay? So, lo and behold, they get into a contract with Microsoft to deal with that for them because they obviously suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, yo, Sony sucks at this server shit. We know this. This has to be this. There has to be some sort of error, technical error or something. Because it can't be something on purpose, because first off, the first thought that comes to mind, that's got to be illegal somehow. That couldn't be legal. No way.
No, it's not legal. It's some kind of technical issue.
Right. I'm saying it has to have been, because if Sony willingly is doing this, let's say this impossible, for instance.
No, they're not. I'm not even going to. I'm not going to let you indulge in that. That's not.
You don't even need to. Okay. See what I'm saying? It's that obvious.
Yeah.
That's my point. So that's my point. Why would they? Who's running with this? You know, we talk about a lot of negative stuff going to Xbox. This is one for Sony. Yo, Chris Hart, I got you on this one. This is just foolishness right here. I mean, the only thing I could say, and I don't mean the following as a burn, but once again, this is all invited to Sony because they suck at this shit. And that's what is happening to them, I feel. Because if they were at least like a Samsung or LG, where you don't hear that these folks have these problems with them no more than anybody else does when they're like forum accounts and stuff get hacked. Basic stuff like that. Forums, not money. Like if people are buying stuff online, not those kind of accounts. At least if they were average, you wouldn't see this stuff happen to them a lot. They're just Sony. I know I'm being a dead horse with this, but Sony is bad at the server shit. They've been with PlayStation Network and everything else. When they got hacked by whoever it was, apparently North Korea or whatever they were saying way back when all those Sony movies and stuff got hacked. Like, Sony is just terrible at this. We know it. Now, at least for PSN, they're going to Microsoft to deal with them instead, right? Because they couldn't go to Amazon, and who else are you going to trust? And not Google, because they weren't going to go to Amazon or Google, so it was just Microsoft. And fuck it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I don't know why this was even a thing.
Well, it is, and it basically, and I mean, and if people don't, all you got to, I mean, it's really, if you type it in, it's right there, and then but on the PlayStation site, it says, well, there's a fix. All you got to do is just, because the PS4 update problem including missing games in library, but here's your fix. Cut off your PlayStation. It says first go to your PlayStation store, find the missing game, and see if you can re-download it. Check that your PlayStation Plus subscription hasn't ran out, as the game could be linked to it. Restore licenses by selecting settings, PSN, restore settings. Deactivate your PlayStation as your primary console and reactivate it as your primary PS4. Do this in settings. PlayStation Network account management, activate as your primary console, PS4. Reboot your PS4 in safe mode and rebuild the database. Hold down the PS4 button until it beeps twice to boot up into safe mode. Choose option 5 to rebuild database. This could take a while, and you can only do this as a last resort. Bro, this is just, and that's only just for games. That's not even all for necessarily for people who have games that are that people don't have on PSN or on PlayStation Now. There's people that's been saying this, that's happened just a couple of months ago or at the beginning of last month, and they were like, "Man, I don't know. My game just left. The servers went down on it, and my game and my account of me purchasing that game is gone." Think about that for a second. I know that, and I know this is right here already screaming for the crowd out there that hates all digital games, that hate all those type of games. But I've said this before. I said this in the video the other day. It don't matter if you have a disc or not. Once those servers are off, that disc ain't nothing but for holding a cup of 100 special proof. It ain't nothing. The service goes down, that's it. It's finito, it's Titans. So having this isn't nothing. I mean, it's one of those things to me that blows my mind, that you got PlayStation fans that will come at you, and well, the stands, not the fans, the stands will come at you talking about Game Pass. Oh, you get the L, and they come at you about what Phil Spencer said 3 years ago. Oh, here he goes. He's doing it again. But they are silent as a mouse when it comes to this type of rhetoric. Like, what in the hell is going on? Like, you guys, like, it's almost kind of like, man, I see this car coming at you. An Xbox fan, you got like 3 different types of Xbox fans. They're going to tell you all different types of scenarios. One's going to tell you, it's not going to hit us. The other one's going to say, look out, it's coming. It's going to destroy us. The other one is going to say, man, I don't give a shit. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it could be a PlayStation fan want to run over us. I don't know. You got all different types of Xbox fans that will give you some type of information. But you got PlayStation fans that will just sit there like, man, there's cars coming. Damn, bro, don't tell nobody else. Why not? That car could hit us. Don't you say shit, or you kicked out of our club. That's how they act. What is going on? Like, this is the type of stuff that blows my mind. Talk about it. Your company is not perfect. Stop it. Stop it. Man, 100. Talk to me. Talk to the people, man. What the hell is going on here, man? Why are these Sony characters not talking about this, man? This story dropped
Yeah,
today, and
that
they
story
are
ain't
just
dropped today.
silent.
I knew about that story about a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, a couple of weeks ago. See, somebody
Well,
dropped
this
it
ain't
on
nothing.
me
No, this ain't
today. I
nothing.
seen the video. See. Couple of
I
weeks.
think
Couple of weeks.
Linus Tech. Yeah, Linus Tech talked about it. Inside Gaming talked about it. It was a bunch of them that talked, but when you're not going to catch the IGNs, the GameSpot, they're not going to do that because they in the Sony back. They're not messing over. They're not going to mess over their money. They can't do their guide wrong. And it's called Sony and PlayStation. Not going to do them wrong, but no, that is wrong for what they're doing. But you don't see the big YouTubers talking, quote unquote big YouTubers. I don't think nobody bigger. That we all created equals. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a fan base don't mean nothing. Some of it I want to check too, because I'm like, I don't know how nobody listening to this garbage. But that's a subject that nobody want to touch right now because they want that PlayStation 5. They want that what's that new game, Ghost of Tsushima. They want the copy. So if you say something bad about Sony ain't gonna give you that copy. Or you sit there and talk the truth, you're not gonna get that copy. And you don't have the back end of Rooster Teeth or CBS or all these other ones that gonna automatically get in. They'll just say, "Hey, we got 5 copies. Who want to play it early?" They don't have that type of backing. So when they own like the Angry Joes and the Spawn Waves and all them, they don't have that type of backing. So what they have to do, they can't talk about it. It's off limits. Maybe their viewership is off limits. Oh, I'm going to bash stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you want to get into this game, but why are you not talking about what's going on with Sony, but you quick to say something about Xbox? I remember Xbox went down a couple of weeks ago, and I think I wasn't even home. And Xbox was down, but I'm like, I wasn't going to say Xbox wasn't down for me. Because the difference between Xbox Live and between Sony PSN, Xbox has redundancy. You guys don't know what redundancy means. It means backup on a backup on a backup on a backup. So everybody's not on the same server. Like some might go down for Mega. It might go down for Mega, but won't go down for me because I'm maybe on the West Coast server. And then they were like, well, you know what? And think about it. I never see PlayStation come out and say, unless somebody put them out, Microsoft will come out immediately on all their channels, on all their little media, say, hey, we understand the problem. We're trying to fix it. This and that. Then when they try to fix it, so say if the Midwest went down, you know what? Let's transfer them to the West Coast while we fix the Midwest. That's called redundant. We call it RAID in IT. If one go down, we got a backup for a backup for a backup for a backup.
Wow, 100. You should write a book. Networking Made Easy. That is one of the best explanations. No show. That is one of the best explanations I've ever heard for that in a very simplistic way. Yo, I'm telling you, as a dude who has a degree in networking, what he just said right there is exactly what it is. Exactly that. It segments it into pieces. It doesn't all, it's not like, all the eggs are in one basket. The fact he's making, the point he's making here is very important that you understand this. It's just how it is, because Microsoft, made it, in this manner because they understand it has to stay up. And if it goes down, if the whole thing went down, it's because it's something more catastrophic, like a DDoS hack or something. Not to cut you off, 100. I just wanted to add that in. Like, wow, you did a good job of explaining that.
Yeah, so years, because I trust me, when I learned it, I didn't even know what they was talking. It was Jerry was talking Spanish to me. But people don't understand that. Like now, you have PlayStation 5 going on the Azure service. That don't mean that PlayStation Network gonna be just as good as Xbox Live. Microsoft just gave them a foundation for them to build their house. Now, so think about it, since they're paying for the foundation, they're paying for the land, they have to go to Microsoft and say, hey, how you work this? And then that's when their people come in and say, okay, what's going on? Because you're paying for customer support now. So Microsoft gonna sit there, let me see what you got, Well, you might got to turn this. Well, Microsoft ain't gonna help you to a certain extent because you're still their competitor. They're not going to sit there like, well, this is what we do on Xbox Live. You're not going to do that. You're gonna sit there and see what they have and what you can tweak here. Like, hey, you might need to go do this. You might need to go do that. You guys got other servers in this one big server form? No, we might need to get a backup. You know, you got over 120 million PlayStation out there. You know, are you really putting that money? If they charge you for PlayStation, people get mad about Xbox Live and why we pay for Xbox Live. This is why we pay for Xbox Live.
Amen.
This is why. And we pay for security.
Absolutely.
That's why. When you go on PC, you ain't got no security. You own your own. That's just a personal computer. You own your own. You cannot tell Microsoft, I got hacked. So what? That's you. You should have got some Northerners. You should have got some AVG. Did you cut on Windows Defender?
100. That is a fantastic point because I said that before to a whole bunch of people, and they laughed at me like I was stupid. But that just showed that they had no idea. They don't have a PC or they don't game on PC to understand that aspect. All they hear is, people, Xbox gamers are under a paywall. You're under a paywall too on your PC. If you just go out there willy-nilly and just play some weirdo that's online and they can hack into your shit, you're done. Like, that's gonna really mess up your internet. So you're gonna have to buy some kind of software. So you're really not in just because they say it's a free open market. Yeah, it is. You can take, but you take your chance. That's like sticking your hand in something and you don't know what that hole is. Something might get you, something might not. But if you got some protection, which is on the PC end, it will nullify. There's sometimes that I'll be playing a game online and I'll play with somebody and I'll know if they're cheating or not. And if I beat them, the first thing I get, boop boop, my internet shit, boop boop, like a couple of hours later or whatever, boom boom. Just had to hit because you just got, they were trying to hit you with a Trojan or some kind of crazy hack or something. I'm like, what? Well, not hack, but virus or something. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, man, like you have to protect your computer at all times. People don't talk about that enough. I'm sorry.
And then, like I said, you got Windows Defender. That's good. That's just as good as AVG.
Yeah.
A lot of them are a bunch of frauds. You know what I'm saying? But it's where my thing is when you're on PC, it's where you're going. See, a lot of customers I get, they on Facebook and say, Megan, that you got a message from me that's talking about I joined this new Star Citizen group and this and that, but it was in malware and you clicked it and it crashed you, my homies, and 10 of your homies. At the end of the day, it's our fault because when you're on PC, you have to be aware of what you're clicking on.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hold on. Let me before you finish. Let me interrupt you again. Thomas Franks, because you'll like this. Thomas Franks said, "I'm paying my tithes, man, and offering on the behalf of Pastor 100 for that word. The gaming God has blessed you." You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? You need to pay y'all's tithes, man. 100's over here preaching tonight. He's preaching the gaming gospel. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, 100.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I get tired of. Well, we playing, and I see homies that we know I'm playing free on PC. Yeah, but you playing devil's advocate too. You know, and don't act like all y'all playing these games and y'all buying them. Trust me, I know how to do it too. I know how to move certain files away and this and this and that. But the normal Joe cannot do that. You know, a lot of them wait for Steam sales. You know, I see a lot of people go, "Oh, Steam sales, boom, 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 boom," and go load up. You're not buying the game day one on day one. You know, but you know, I don't know why people it's so much hate when PlayStation do something. It's like they get a pass. It gets swept under the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft do one thing. Oh, Phil said this. This and this and that. You know, y'all paying $1 for Game Pass. I'm like, why are you mad? Why are you mad at Game Pass where you get all these games? You got PlayStation now, and you should be happy. That's what Sony told you. That's what you need. But I like I said, sometimes I look at the hate and be sitting there laughing like, this dude is really serious. So, I mean, yeah, I'm done with the sermon because I know you're going to say, I was going to say something else, but I know it might be another topic.
Okay. All right.
Like
all right. Nice.
I didn't see no
All right. Core also on Twitch said, "Don't forget about VPN." Absolutely correct. Like,
Yeah,
see
but the
that?
only thing about VPN is you got to get the right VPN because VPN will slow your connection down.
It will, it will. But I mean, but that's another factor as well. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and the thing about
yeah.
the VPN don't always make you safe either all the time either. It just make you safe for your IP from your IP provider
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. To see they don't check your packages because a lot of internet providers, like we had Cox Communication out here, that were checking people's packages that was really illegal because you can go searching the web is free. That's your first constitutional right. You can go wherever you want to go to. You go to a certain site, you'll get an email or a text message on your phone. It was like, you know what? You cannot download nothing from this site.
Yeah.
But then the person can make that counter fight because they don't own the line. They don't own the internet they're actually borrowing from it. So you just have to follow their laws. But that's messed up though. But VPNs is good for you don't want nobody seeing what you're doing. You want to go you're going incognito mode. You know what I'm saying?
I got.
And
There's one
Chrome
last thing that
that only want nobody seeing where you're going. Cause you know what I'm saying? That's what a VPN is good for. But a lot of them, they kind of charge a little bit too much to give you that your full throttle. Some of them will throttle you back. I got a VPN on my phone. And it sometimes if I'm in the office, the office VPN will say, hell no. You had to get on. And I'm like, why? When I go on the computer, like, why? But that's the certain settings that we have. But they're good if you just want to because some people want their privacy. It's good for privacy. You don't want nobody sitting there looking at what you're going to buy because that's what they're doing. They're selling your information. They all selling your information. Oh, Mega just bought 500. He's built a gaming PC. You're just going to get nothing but ass for gaming PCs.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. All right.
there's one last aspect that I don't think that he touched on when he went into all that about the security and how losing all this is a big thing.
I was going to get to Livewire, then I was going to come to you last, Bloody.
Well, because I was gonna say was something real quick because it was just the main point to add into it. Is I think the biggest thing that he mentioned how they're and I think as Sick as well all mentioned how the networking and everything that they've kind of done their online system is just completely unstable and them losing these licenses is bad. And it's a really big deal because people are paying for these licenses in these games and they're losing entire libraries is bad. But you also got to think that this is the same company who already said that you would lose access to a portion of your digital library as it is for simply changing your name because of the fact that they tied username to the background information that goes through their servers instead of using a username as a top code and not using it as an encrypted algorithm on the backside that would tie to your personal information separately and not acting like an actual username kind of blanket on top. No, it's tied directly to it. So simply changing your name already can potentially lose your licenses. So we've already seen that they've already handled these license issues already poorly with even being able to make an adjustment or change of your own accord. So now the fact that there's involuntary or potential to lose licenses in your library or anything else like that, and that they can't find a full centered reason on why that is, that's not a good look at all.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. Livewire, what did you want to touch on this? I know this. I don't know if you heard about this story, but man, I mean, what do you think?
Oh, that's what you're talking about with the outages or the people losing games and whatnot.
Yeah.
See, like, what did they clarify? What games they were? Or they just random on
Just random. Random games. Random games. Mostly the games that's their servers went down, then people lose those games, and and then
so they'll lose. So they'll randomly, like, instead of saying install, they'll say purchase.
No, they're just gone. Like it's happened with PSN games.
No, I'm saying, would it be in their store? Something's removed from their store or the library?
No, from their library.
All right, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if they like we all got Game Pass, but you know what I mean, it'd be like if Game Pass wasn't working. working. So
But
then
it's
you try to,
beyond Game Pass. It's with people that just buys games too.
no, that's but yeah, same, whichever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's like having Halo 5 and saying you got to install Halo 5. Like what the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy. Man. Yeah. I do have a couple of digital games, so that would suck. But again, you know what I mean? Most of their games is one and dones anyway, so the likeliness of really playing them again aren't high. So I'm not personally that affected by it.
Yeah, you're
But
still affected by it because because if a game server is gone, and
oh no,
if
I'm
they,
good.
yeah,
Well,
like I
yeah.
mean, then it's gone. They're not giving you any indication that it's gone and it's out of there.
Well, see, that's man. See, that's the gamble of effing with PlayStation. That, that is really it. I mean, and that's why I think a lot of people do go for more physical on there than Xbox. Not that it's still not trending digital, but still it's those incidents where something happens and then you gotta fight them tooth and nail in order to get shit that you know damn well you paid for. You be like, I showed you the receipts. Look, it's right there. They be like, nah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
buy it
no,
again.
yeah. They would basically just hang up in people's face. That was what that's what that they were reporting and saying that look, there were people that just got upset. I mean, that there were even once they told them that hey, look, here's my receipt, here's my account number, and then when the PlayStation representatives told them, look, we don't see it anywhere, and they're saying, look, my game was right there, it's gone, then they would just hang up in their face.
You know what PlayStation reminds me of?
What?
Reminds me of the lady in Don't Be a Menace, the Wayans brothers.
Hmm.
She's like, hurry up and buy. Like
Oh
they have
yeah.
that type of customer service, y'all. Hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy.
just don't worry about it.
Yeah, nah, it's unfortunate, but you know, the risks you take, man. You know what I mean? You know, it's like somebody tells you a story about how they got an STD from a prostitute. I'm like, bro, she's a prostitute. Like, there's risk involved.
Gotcha. All right. Livewire and his analogies. Okay, Bloody, you want to
Oh,
finish
they're
off?
the best.
They're the best. Live. I was just saying.
No,
Bloody.
that was pretty much what I had to say
Okay.
was
Okay.
the fact
Okay.
that if you can't even trust a company who can properly allow you to be able to change your username without losing your licenses digitally, and how are you going to trust them to be able to manage all the licenses that you did buy elsewise? I was like, that's really just poor structuring amongst their server issues. There's no reason. There's no wonder that they had to get help from Microsoft with the Azure servers to help with a lot of their online infrastructure. For the fact that they need help with being able to properly build a stable access to being able to do that. Now I was like, this is after all the hacks and data crashes that they had. I was about to say, yeah, you've seen that it's happened to both companies, right? But you've seen the amount of frequency and the downtime in these systems affected. It's incomparable. I was like, and the fact that if you're trusting them with your information and you're buying these digital copies, right? And you can't even trust that to stay without being lost. How can you be able to trust them any other way to do anything that's all online or anything like that?
No
Hey,
doubt.
can I
I hear
butt
you,
in
PK.
and make a comment on this? Because I'm driving, but I wanted to comment.
No, because you over here requested for some more Smash Brothers.
But they love it.
They didn't love it.
love
Nobody
it.
didn't pay attention to it. Nobody in the
They
chat.
did.
Kuna Steeder was the only one that said, "Oh, it's glad."
That's
That's
good enough.
it. No,
That's
he
good
didn't.
enough.
But
No,
That's
no,
that's
no,
one
because,
no.
fan.
hey, that
That's
Cootie,
one
that's because
fan,
Cootie
and
loves
there's
her
gonna be
Cloud Boy.
more.
Oh, I love Kudastina, but I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
but
that's
you
my
know,
girl Cootie.
I was ready for people to just, oh my God, Nintendo
You start
gameplay,
with one.
which K Mega's going to get flagged over. I'm sure of it, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully it won't. But go
I
ahead,
don't think
PK. I'm
so.
just messing with you. I don't think so either. But Nintendo, I don't know. That's why the one reason why I've really rarely put any Nintendo stuff on because I would love to, but Nintendo scares the hell out of me because you never know what comes from them. But go ahead. No, yeah, you can put as much Smash Brothers stuff, gameplay as you want to. Because that game actually looked dope. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who don't really play Smash, I was looking at it and I was like, oh man, this looks kind of fun. I don't know, man. God.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Smash
it's
is
an
fun,
acquired
but if
taste.
you really don't know what you doing and you going up against someone who do, you're gonna have a bad
Hey
time
man,
for a
look,
while.
I'll get my ass
Yeah,
whooped. That's
it's
cool,
rough.
but I'll learn to
No.
adapt.
It's not it's
No,
not you
way
gonna get
worse
your
than
ass
that,
whooped. It's
dog.
gonna be
It's way worse than
absolute like just destruction until you even
Yeah.
really comprehend the basics. You thought
You
that
be- you
vamp
be
whooping
sitting-
our asses was bad? No, it's a whole nother level.
You be sitting there like, dog, am I supposed to? When do I actually get to land on the platform?
Yeah.
Like,
I would say you gotta love edge play. I was like, and if you
Make
didn't
it,
know
hold
anything,
on, before you play, make it. If you want to play something like Smash Brothers before you get Smash Brothers, play
Brawlhalla?
Brawlhalla.
Okay, I got Brawlhalla.
That's
Okay,
that's Smash Brothers.
so I'll play some Brawlhalla and then try to get
Yeah,
my
that's
record.
Smash Brothers.
All right.
So now I know I will never play Smash. This does not sound entertaining to me. Y'all not selling the game properly.
I don't know.
Look,
Hey,
Sick,
no,
I don't
hang
know
on.
why they. I don't even know why they tell. Why are they
but
telling
here's
them
the
the
thing,
wrong
PK.
thing? You just
PK,
need to
I'll say
get in
this.
there and do it your way. You can turn all the items on if you want.
Yeah,
Play
but here's the
play
thing,
casual.
PK.
Just get in there and play it. It ain't
All right.
that simple.
Here's the thing, PK. I was like, the fights in that game. You think that fight nights can be intense? I was like,
It doesn't matter because it's all about having fun. We could do 8-player Smash. How about
Okay.
that?
Anyway, let's stay on topic. Okay, this is PK. I always want to come in here and talk about Nintendo. Get out of here, sucker. What did you want to talk about, brother?
I just wanted to say that as far as people seeing their names missing in the PlayStation library, that's a pretty common thing. That didn't just start it. That's anybody can do a quick Google search and see that's been going on for a minute. Half of it is people need to go into their PlayStation and re-register their licenses because for some reason the PlayStation unregisters their license, or they never even confirm their home PlayStation as their PlayStation. There's a couple things they didn't do, and that's why their licenses disappear. The other thing is
that's odd.
It's odd, but it happens a lot. It's pretty common, and I know. Listen, I'm not saying should you have to or shouldn't you not have to. I would just kind of bring in some facts to what Chris Hart's saying it doesn't happen, but it does happen. Okay,
Man, why do you even? I need to quit. That man is dead to us. Let him be. He's
I just
gonna bring him up.
Let PK have his time, man. The man's in the car talking to us, man. Go ahead, PK.
I was just trying to educate a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now there are some rare occasions where some change happened on your account. Sony doesn't use roaming profiles with, like in any other domain Active Directory setup, you have a SID attached to your name. So it doesn't matter if you change your name because that SID identifies you in the Active Directory hierarchy. The problem is that's not how Sony set up their stuff. Everything is static. So if you change anything, it will break something.
He can explain at a higher level why Sony sucks at this server shit. Because they did everything ass backwards.
Well, I'm not gonna go out there and say I know how they do it, how they have it set up, but it seems to me that they're not using a typical Active Directory domain. It seems like they're using a different kind of database, not SQL server or anything like that, but a different kind of database to key together these different things. And when you change something that's a static entry that does not have, like for instance, if you change your name, like you could not do on PlayStation for years, because you have a SID attached to your name as a, it's like a encryption key. That's the best way I could describe it. Mm-hmm. It points to your account. No matter what your name is an alias, so it doesn't matter how many times you change your name. It's an alias. It does not mean whatever you purchase, that's what your name is attached to that purchase. Unfortunately, it seems to me that's how Sony had it set up, is they attached it to some kind of database where it points to a particular name. So if you change that or change anything in that account, that table is broken and can no longer query your account things that you have purchased. And that's how it works, right? That's how it knows what you have purchased, is it queries a table. Depending on the data the table comes back with, that's what it shows, what you have purchased and what you own, what you can download, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like I said, I think that's part of some of those rare occasions where something like that happens. Now I can give you an example. There was a guy in Middle Eastern that his name, Sony contacted him and made him change his name because they said it was a terrorist name. He said, no, it's my name. He even sent his driver's license.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, and they shut down his channel. Yeah. I mean, his account.
Yeah, they took they made him change his name. Now he lost everything he purchased, plus his friends list.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
And after he went through a lot, showed his birth certificate, all that stuff to prove that was his name, they still could not give him his name back, and they still couldn't give him his purchases back. And this is after 6 years of buying digital stuff from Sony. He could not. They gave him his friends list back, but he don't care about that. He wants
his games.
He wants his investments, and he could never get it back. He never could get it back ever.
Damn,
and
I didn't know.
That is the example I was talking about. I'm sorry for
No. You're fine. Matter of fact, before I don't know if you're going to get out of here or you're going to stick on, but I know you're driving. But I want to jump on you this because there's another little thing I wanted to sneak in here real fast, and that was was the 30 frames per second. Tell your old lady I said what's happening. Was the 30 frames per second aspect. I made a video about it the other day talking about the Spider-Man Miles Morales looked like it was coming in at 30 frames per second, not 60 on the new hardware, since it's supposed to be primarily just on the PlayStation 5. I want to get your thoughts on this, but let me go ahead and read something from what somebody said to me, which is Gideon. He's always saying something. We're like ice and fire, man, because me and him don't ever agree on anything. But he said, he came and he says, because I made this point. He says you can get one, but you cannot. But you can get you a PC, but you can't enjoy. But you're not going to enjoy it. Your words exactly, and it's not what I want. It's not what I want you to hear. It's what you said. At the 24.8 minute mark, are you denying that? No, I'm not denying that because I'm speaking to.
Wait, can we back up for a second? What is he talking about? I'm trying to understand.
Okay, so in the video, I made a point where I was saying to people that always make this notion that they're going to just buy a PC just because they're mad at the consoles for whatever reason. And I made this point of saying, look, console gamers are not.
What are you doing?
If they're primary console gamers that's been console gamers for years, they're not going to just jump over to PC and just be diehard on PC, like that. They're going to find that the PC is not what they anticipated, not what they expected, right? And so you're going to have to learn to adapt to it. And that's the point that I was making. Like, look, you're not going to like it. So no, I'm not denying what I said. It's a point to say, stop trying to use PC spin a narrative that like I'm trying to say that you're not going to like PC. No, you will like PC, but you're not going to just go away from your console, especially if you are a life console gamer. If you're new to gaming and you
not to mention it's because you're used to playing with a box that does everything for you. You don't have to do updates. You don't have to do no tweaking. You don't have to worry about different game launchers like Steam and GRG and then Epic, and you get all these different launchers and everything's not working right. You got to figure that out. And there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about. Not to mention, most people are not going to be able to plug their PC up straight to their TV and enjoy it the same way.
Absolutely. Talk about it.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's complicated, and they're not used to that. And especially after you spend all that money, because let's be real, if you want a PC that's comfortable to a 1X or even a PS4 Pro, you're gonna spend some bread. You're not gonna. It's not cheap. You know what I mean? So after you spend all that money, now you still gotta either play on a monitor or somehow plug it up to your TV, and it's still not gonna be as comfortable because you still got to do a lot of tweaks. It's not
Right, because
it's
gonna
not a
look
simple shift.
yeah, it's gonna be ashy as hell. You gotta buy the right cables to coincide with your
Now, believe
television.
me, I'm a
And
PC gamer. Sick
yeah,
is a PC gamer, and I'm telling you now, you got to be a PC gamer to play
Yeah, it's
PC.
not
I'm just
simple.
being
I think
real.
you gotta
It's
make
not.
it a little more slightly too spicy, but otherwise you're pretty much right
It's not a simple
on
shift.
target.
That's for
It's not
sure.
simple, and this is something in the future. I'll be doing some content on this. Try to help to simplify that whole idea. But that's something a little bit in the back burner. So we'll
So,
leave off that.
so let me go back to K Meg's original question about
the
30
frames per second. Yes.
So what is it that was it that he was complaining, or was he just wanted me to comment on the?
Well, he made a
Spider-Man?
comment on what I said because my video was basically, and that's the main objective that I want to talk about before we get to the next topic, is about this whole 30 frames per second versus the 60 frame, and what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If people are on this 60 frames per second or death aspect, and then knowing that Spider-Man, which is a single player experience, open world, Miles Morales is only going to be 30, from what the people from Digital Foundry has said. Is it really that bad of a ordeal going on the PlayStation 5, or is it one of those things where it's kind of like, look, it is what it is? Where are we at on this, PK? I want to hear that point, and then I'm going to Slayer on this one next.
So I think people are harping too heavy on this, and I think they're just using it to spin a narrative. So let's be real. Not every game is going to be 60 frames, especially these single player open world games that's got a lot of crap running around in the background, mainly because it's CPU intensive. And if you got your CPU running, I'm not saying the next consoles are not capable, but it's in order for them to be realized, the devs want their games to be realized how they want them to be realized. So if they opt out to choose 30 frames, that's their choice. Not saying that the consoles are not capable, but it's also their choice on how they use the resources. So they might want to use the resources for more of a cinematic feel over when it comes to single player elements. Now, of course, action games and first person shooters or things like that definitely should be a mandatory 60 frames. There's no doubt about it, because the only things you worried about is the people you loaded into the game and the things that are going around in the background. You don't have a whole world loaded. So it shouldn't be that difficult to do that. PC's been doing it on weaker hardware. Okay, so that should be a no-brainer for that kind of genre. But single player open world games, that's a different kind of feel. So they could definitely do 60 frames, but I think people just don't understand. I think their expectations, either some people expectations too high, or they don't understand how true PCs handle these single player open world existences. You cannot. It is impossible to run The Witcher on Ultra at 60 frames without getting something hurting. I'm trying to tell you that now. It's impossible. The game just has so much in it. You have to give up something in order to get something in return. That's just the way it goes. And that's going to continue to be that narrative because of that kind of game. So I think people need to stop trying to say Xbox needs to have this 60 frames only. Well, let's just be real. They can do it. That's all we need to know. It's possible to do it. It's also up to the devs on how they want their game realized. So far as Spider-Man being 30 frames, yeah, okay, it's 30 frames. So if there's a game on Xbox with 30 frames, don't be tripping. It's all the same. It's the same idea. They working. I'm saying that Spider-Man could possibly be 60 frames, but they will lose something in return up in those those frames, you're gonna have to lose some kind of quality or something in return. So more than likely they choose.
PK, ask me this question. Spider-Man is running on last gen on this gen's engines, right? This gen. It's not. This is a common copy of the last game. So if you want to get this on a PlayStation 5, and like I said, it's not that big of an open world. It's not a Grand Theft Auto. If you would have told me it was a Grand Theft Auto or a Witcher, I can see that. It's not.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it isn't.
I'm gonna talk about that part when it's my turn, though.
But just like you mentioned, they developed this game on a different hardware, but they putting it on PlayStation 5.
No, it's an AMD processor.
I'm not talking about the hardware. I'm talking about the software they use. Don't
the person that makes that?
No. So I'll give you an example.
I'll give the same business I'll give to 343.
I'm not disagreeing with the hardware aspect, but you got to put this in mind.
With the developer. So you're trying to tell me that the developers, if Halo can do it, if 343, the coalition and them can do it, making state games 4K 60.
I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying that they chose not to because of what.
Because it's not a graphically demanding game.
I'm gonna give you an example.
I just forgot how long this takes.
I'm gonna give you an example. Monster Hunter World is using an engine that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but see, that's Monster Hunter World. We're talking about a Sony exclusive.
Wait a minute.
We're talking about a Sony. No, you can't use. We're not going to talk about third parties. We're talking about exclusives.
I'm just trying to give you an example of why.
But you can't use. I want an example from PlayStation. If you were going to use an example, I would do a third party to a third party.
I'm trying to get to answering your question, so I'm trying to get you to follow me a little bit. So what I'm saying is, Monster Hunter World, Capcom decided to use an older engine even though it's older than this generation. They use it because it was cheaper and they could get it done quicker. Was it the best choice? Probably not, but it turned out great. And all I'm saying is that they chose to use the older software, the older physics engine, whatever they used to develop Spider-Man on PlayStation, because it was already there. They were already familiar with it. They were already familiar with the hardware, and it was an easy port. The reason why they put it on PS5 is so they could sell a PS5 exclusive, not because it was technically a PS5 exclusive. Let's be real. The game was already in development, okay? They just put it on PS5. And 30 frames because the original game is on 30 frames. It's all the same. It's nothing new. I'm sure if they make a new Spider-Man, brand new from scratch, it will perform a lot better. But at this point in time, it's going to perform just like the PS4 or PS4 Pro version because they use the same physics engine, the same software, the same setup. It didn't take them much to make the game. Think about it. Nobody even knew this was coming. They spun this game up so quick, you didn't know it was coming. This game was in development for 2 years. I'm not saying that they can't do it, and I'm not saying that they should do it.
If I can know an indie developer that's with one person can make a game 4K 60 and run on everything, why they can't do it?
I'm not saying they can't.
I'm not giving them no pass. Not this game ain't no pass. I know Xbox. I know Xbox is going to have some games that's 30 frames, but that's not from their studios. That might be a third party.
Let me just point out this last thing. Like I said in the beginning, first-person shooters such as your Halo, right, will run at 60. No, let me finish. They will run at 60 frames per second because they don't have to load in the giant worlds that the other games is. Now, I know Halo
5, all the Halos run at 60 and 40 now.
Okay, and that's I understand that, but you're not. But at the same time, you're not seeing. This is two different genres. Okay, developers will choose how they want their games to be perceived, and if it's single player games that is like Ghost of Tsushima or whatever single player element, they will choose higher quality over frame rate because they want that cinematic feel. Now, if you were comparing two shooters, a PlayStation first party shooter versus Halo, and they still did it 30, you got every right to jump down their throat.
Well,
every right.
Well, I do say this though. I mean, because it's not only been PlayStation fans. I mean, my boy Other Zinc, he totally disagreed with my video, and that's fine. I'm still sticking my stance. I don't, I don't change or flake up just because somebody don't agree with what I gotta say. The point of this is the point of the whole video, the whole point of this topic, and then we'll go to Slayer on this, is that you cannot be accepting of The Last of Us 2 being 30 frames per second, but then want to rag out Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's a bigger game. That's an open world game. And if that game is going to be technically bigger than Odyssey, my God, you haven't played Odyssey. That is the biggest. Hold on. Whoa. Let me finish. That is one of the biggest games I've ever played in my entire life. It's way bigger than The Witcher. And if that's 30 frames, I'm cool. Red Dead Redemption 2, I seen fans trying to talk about the detail about The Last of Us 2, which it does. It has fantastic detail. That's the only reason why I want to play it, is because of the gameplay, not because of anything else. But the detail within that game looks astonishing and it's great. But in comparison to the Red Dead Redemption 2, that Red Dead Redemption 2 had detail and an open world. And matter of fact, 2 segments in its open world, which in comparison, you can't compare the two. You know what I'm saying? That you just can't. Because not only Red Dead Redemption 2 looks beautiful with detail, it's a bigger game with a way broader scope, and it took one more extra year to develop, other than what The Last of Us 2 is. So I don't even want to hear the stands in their crying situation about
we're saying the same thing there, K-Mega.
Right. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
We're saying the same thing.
Is the third party, it's up to the third party. I'm talking about first party games.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm talking about first party games. I'm not talking about third party games. I'm not saying if a third party want to make it 30, that's on them. I'm talking about first party. The Last of Us should have been running at this time on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Should have run damn near close to at least 60 frames per second.
But what PlayStation game is run 60 though? On the Pro, what PlayStation?
Ain't none of them. That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get my point across. Ain't none of them. But if Xbox One X can do it, know what I'm saying? I'm not giving the PlayStation 5 a pass, because if The Last of Us comes out, it should not run in no dynamic, nothing. It should run native 4K at 60 frames per second. If it does that, I'm going to be the first person to rip them to another asshole. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Only thing I want to say, 100, is we got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So when we get a single player game on the Xbox, and if it doesn't run 60 frames, then we can compare.
I'm talking about from an Xbox. I'm talking about from Xbox developer. I'm not talking about
what you're saying, but I'm saying to you, I'm saying that until we have a first party single player experience to compare to a Last of Us, we shouldn't be comparing it to a Halo.
Well, that's apples and oranges. What's going to run at 4K 60?
Okay, so let me ask you this question though, PK, and then I got to go to Slayer because we got 2 more topics, and I want to try to get everybody else's opinion before we get out of here. Let me ask you this question though. Okay, for instance, if Halo single player is as big as The Last of Us 2, and it's going to be 60 frames per second. Well, we know the multiplayer is going to be the multiplayer aspect is going to be 60 frames per second. But if the single player aspect, just like Gears 5, which I don't think Gears 5 was as big as what The Last of Us 2 was story, with the story world base. But if Halo 5, which the rumors are saying that this is going to be the biggest Halo ever, up to 35 missions with side missions as well, and it's going to be more broader, kind of like The Last of Us, not a semi-open world. If that game's running at uh 60 frames per second, could you then do the apples and apples with that?
Again, that's impressive because even Gears 5 story is in 30 frames. It's not. It's only
anymore.
60.
It's in 60 now. It's in 60 now.
It's 60.
Okay.
Everything is 60.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even though that's still
Well, it may be
not,
30 on the S and the what's called, but it's definitely 60 on the X. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that's still comparing apples. What I'm saying is until we do what I don't want to do is be unfair. Okay,
Right.
that's totally unfair because you comparing a shooter, no matter if it has a story mode or not, it still runs. I mean, Overwatch has somewhat story modes and it still runs at 60. That doesn't mean anything. It runs 60 on all the consoles.
Runs at 60. Quantum Break runs at 60, and you can do that to The Last of Us.
But okay, well, Quantum Break is what I'm saying is Quantum Break.
The Last of Us.
Quantum Break runs at 60, but it doesn't run at 4K 60 on the X.
What I'm saying is 1440p, just like the Pro does. So we can match that up. We can match that up.
What I'm saying is, let's just back up. When you said first party and Quantum Break's not first party,
no,
right? You said this. So when we get a shooter on the PlayStation as first party, like another. No, I want to be fair.
So let's be fair. Okay,
no, I'm gonna fight you, PK, to the end.
What
you my boy.
Hold on, but chill.
I
mean, I agree with. I know that, but I'm just saying it from this standpoint. Okay, let PK have his point of view, and let's look at a game like let's see what Fable does. If Fable is
there you go.
If Fable is 60 frames per second.
There you go.
Or the rumor of Perfect Dark comes out, then
Perfect Dark or whatever you want.
A story, AAA banger. I got you.
We'll come back to this.
Hey,
see what's going on, Bloody?
I see it.
I'm gonna say if the Fable come out, it's 60.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Let me say, if
that's
120 frames per second. So
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying let's just be fair.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, let me go to the rest of the team. Let me go to the rest of the team, fellas. All right, so Slayer, you're up, man. All right.
Sir, I gotta attack this, once again from the technical point of view that only I bring. And oh my God. PK, I know what you're trying to say. He's 100 is talking about something else entirely though, which y'all are misunderstanding each other. So, lately I've championed a phrase about, no matter what you achieve with 60, if you bump it down to 30, now you have more available to do more things with that you couldn't do at 60. Examples of increased AI and things like that. I explained it in that manner to get across the point that it's not about a certain level of power you reach with these machines that you get to now. All your games should be 60 frames a second because it don't matter how powerful your hardware is. FPS in a game is not a direct measurement of system power because it's not just about the frames per second. It's about what's in those frames, what's happening frame to frame, what the resolution of those frames are, etc., etc. That's what matters. And to be able to do all those things at a high level, each category at a high level, now that's a determining factor to system performance. And what happened was, this is just the classic fanboy back and forth. The Xbox fans started noticing that among the first party, most, if not almost all, what's about to come out for the Series X will be 60 frames 4K. This was basically promised. Will there be 4K 30 games on the system? Absolutely, just like there will be on every system. A little point of view brain twist a little bit. Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo from '85 was 60 frames per second. Not that Mario the character had 60 frames of animation. It had like 2 frames of animation. I'm saying the game ran at 60 frames. Streets of Rage from 1991 ran at 30 frames per second. Only the sequel was at 60, and then the other sequels afterwards were as well. The first game was 30. Super Mario Brothers was double the frame rate of Streets of Rage. Does that mean Super Mario Brothers is a more complicated game than Streets of Rage, or and requires, you know, more powerful hardware? No, of course not, because it doesn't work like that. But these PlayStation fanboys started noticing that this game and that game were going to be 30 frames per second on the Xbox. And the first among them was Assassin's Creed, one of the first games we saw running for the Xbox Series X. And in fact, it was leaked by accident or whatever, like a day or two early. So when that was announced to be 30 frames per second, and that was like the second game we'd seen running, and this time actual gameplay, and the first time of actual gameplay, for that to be 30 frames per second, PlayStation fans tried to stamp 30 frames per second on the Series X as a whole. It was just straight fanboy wars back and forth when the first party, just like 100 I just was saying, first party, K-Mega, you say it all the time, first party. Those games are going to be 60 frames per second. But that's because that's what Microsoft is choosing to do. Xbox is choosing to do. But if you're a game developer, you can use 30 because you can put more AI, more characters, more detail in the environment, because you don't have to hold up to 60 frames per second. And that has nothing to do with how powerful the Series X is. If the Series X had the PS5 hardware and vice versa, the situation would still be the same. So all this debate about FPS is mind-numbing. Certain games are better with high FPS, like racing games and fighting games. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you can't have a good one without that, but you would prefer, you know? I get that. But that doesn't mean 30 frames per second games are going anywhere. They're not. Just like I said last week about the bitter pill about the other subject, about the increase in game prices, well, here's another one. Bitter pill to swallow, but, you know, it's just what it is. 30 frames per second games aren't going nowhere. 60 frames per second is going to get a new spotlight, and I welcome it. Trust me, I do. But 30 frames per second ain't going nowhere. Okay. Assassin's Creed just is 30 frames per second because it is. Now for Spider-Man, real quick, that makes no sense. I don't understand why on PS5 it's still 30. But it's just an ascended DLC anyway in my mind, so that's also extra weird. But it looks like there's extra effects, but resolution and all that doesn't seem that
this
it should
is why
be
I think
60.
that it's going to be 30s, because they're going to add ray tracing to it, and ray tracing is a resource whore. And I think that's, and I don't think that they know.
And there, you instant. Wow, I didn't even consider. And there's the answer right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I think it's going to be 30. It's going to look spectacular, but the point of the matter is that.
But ain't nobody gonna have no TV. The average consumer ain't gonna have no TV with no ray tracing on it.
It's not HDR. Ray tracing.
It's ray tracing.
HDR yeah, that's why I said the trace. That's why I said they don't. The average consumer not gonna go out there and buy another TV.
That validates my point that when you want to you can't bring up the frame rate without taking away something. So they brought down the frame rate to add something, and that's kind of what
exactly.
And ray tracing is not. And ray tracing is not something 100. They can put ray tracing on any game that they want to. It's not something that has to be on your television. HDR is something that's going to be on your television. Now, maybe eventually during going down the line when TVs evolve, they might have some kind of ray tracing element to it, but I don't see that. The ray tracing is going to pop regardless. I mean,
We don't
just
even have FreeSync as a standard yet,
yeah,
or
because
VSync.
I got FreeSync on my television, and I
Yeah,
have
mine just got an update for that too.
yeah, I got FreeSync on my television, but my television doesn't go to 120. It only go to 60. So I got to give me another one so it can go to 120 to make sure that can meet. Even though I've read some reports that that TVs that the whole TV aspect of having 120 to 60 uh, hertz it doesn't make a difference. But I from listening to people that I
I
trust, I think
disagree.
it's bullshit. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does in
yeah,
my
yeah.
point of view. In
Yeah,
my
yeah.
TV,
From
it
my point of
definitely
view, I
does.
think yeah, because I definitely feel the difference, especially when I play Dead or Alive, and I got 60, and even when I go on performance, I mean, when not performance mode, but on quality mode, it still runs really fluent, and people can see that through when I'm streaming it. But anyway, I'm not going to do that. We got two more people to go through, so I'm going to go to Bloody next and get his point about the 30 some frames per second, and then I'll go to Livewire last. So Bloody. Are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
here. I was like, I
I
saw him
know, I 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 know.
because he had
But
3 people all preaching the same thing.
well, hey, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. You talked for
I
10
know.
minutes. You talked for 10 minutes on the first topic.
No, I know,
Don't do
but I
that.
was gonna
Don't do
say
that.
it is one of those things where everyone's all
It's
on the
passion.
same page, and I think I was the only person who stood on the other side of the fence on
Oh
this
well,
one.
shit. Well, then this is perfect because I mean,
Because we already been down this road with the whole 30
30,
frames.
60. Yeah, I know, but
Because we
people
talked about
bring
this a
it up
couple
again.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But I was on the whole other side of this. Is that
so
I
you
feel
still
that,
on it?
yeah, absolutely. I
Okay. Go
believe that
ahead.
60 frames absolutely
Explain.
should be, because we've been talking about how everyone
Oh, hold on.
was
I'm sorry. Just one more interruption, Blake. I'm sorry. Emmanuel, thank you. He says, I don't want anything like The Last of Us 2 on Xbox. He said, you know what I'm saying? So he's agreeing with 100. All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. All right. Go ahead, Blake.
what I was trying to say was the fact of that I am completely on the opposite of where they're stating. Is that I believe that 60 frames should absolutely be the go-to. Now, I will say that PK brings up an absolutely good point about having more frames does mean that you do have a trade-off. And the fact of if you look at PC, whenever you have higher frames, tends to be a higher drain on the CPU, so you do have to adjust the graphics to kind of help alleviate some of that stress to make sure that you're keeping that steady frame rate. There is always going to be a balancing act. And having started to do a little bit more PC, you start to understand just how that balancing act has to work, depending on changing details, graphical settings, either turning on certain aspects of volumetric lighting and other aspects. And you think about how the fact of these closed systems, right? People forget that consoles are closed systems. That means that they're optimized towards that. However, we saw with the PS4 Pro and especially with the Xbox One X that we are starting to get a little bit more options from developers to help kind of prioritize what we want to see more of. We've seen that people want either higher graphics and resolution, pushing more towards the 4K, which is where we were starting to see more the standard of 4K getting high to 4K as we were wanting to, or even just slightly under that. We saw the push towards even things such as 1980 or anything like that, just underneath 4K to have a steady 30 frames, but get it as close to 4K. But we were also seeing some being able to achieve native 4K resolution. However, we were also seeing that others were wanting to lower the resolution to be able to have an increased frame rate. Now, having actually seen the difference between 60 frames a second and 30 frames a second, and especially in open world games, and especially if you think about RPGs, I will say that PK brought up an absolutely wonderful point with The Witcher, is that getting that game at steady frames, you really do have to change a lot of the settings to be able to get it. You're not going to have everything on ultra unless you're talking about someone who's running basically a very, very high-end CPU with a lot of RAM as well as a high-end graphics card, or even running dual graphics card using SLI or anything like that. However, we have seen the fact that it does play a very big importance. 60 frames are absolutely mandatory in shooters or fighters because of the fact that they do have a very, very big aspect on being able to understand in those games because of the fact that they're mandatory. But have you ever played? I was like, well, actually, K-Mega, you started playing games such as Dark Souls and Sekiro. You understand how timing works in that game, right? You have to understand it completely. That is a game that is a very big open world RPG. Granted, some of the maps are closed, but that is a game where frames are absolutely important.
What's a big game? Sekiro is not a big game.
No, if you look at how with the traversal and the fact of how many areas have to be pre-rendered, and the fact that only when you die does the world reset, but the fact of that you can literally just go to a bonfire and the entirety of the world just resets in an instant. Mm-hmm. And the fact of that most of the world, especially if you look at Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and how big 3 was, and even Sekiro, outside of traveling to the past, the rest of the world is absolutely continuously already rendered. And you're able to traverse between all of them in real time. Those worlds do have a lot of details that go in that do have slight areas where they have to change because of certain things in the story or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But those are large games. And the fact of when it comes to the combat, they are absolutely mandatory to understand the frames when you're in the middle of combat. Because of the fact that when some of those have invincibility seconds either at the beginning or at the end, and only in certain parts where you have to really learn to time. Having played some of those games on PC, you really start to understand the clarity and understanding where the frames are more consistently over 30 FPS. And when you're playing in 60 but streaming out in 30, you see the difference between the two when you're able to actively see. Now, you're looking at a game right now, and the kind of you look at the consoles that we have now, PS4 Pro especially, with how it handles Spider-Man. Those are modified Jaguar cores, so just similar to what we've seen with the One X. They're older CPUs that were custom built and modified to be able to handle. However, with these next gen, we're seeing brand new and more powerful CPUs absolutely pushing and have much more capabilities than what they were before. We've also been seeing that people want to actively, right now, even with these consoles, push for 1080 60 instead of everyone getting on the 4K 60 or 4K 30 kind of push, right? Everyone wanted 4K 60. Yes, we want to have as high a resolution as we can. We want the most clear, detailed graphical fidelity as possible. But frames and the smoothing that it's able to achieve absolutely does a lot compared to just having a higher resolution and just having higher details. It's nice. It makes it look pretty. But even still with that, unless they're able to absolutely, with under all recommendations and certainty, lock it in at those 30 frames, you still have sometimes slowdown. You'll still have the occasional dip here and there. 60 frames absolutely does wonders. Even 45 frames does wonders for helping to smooth out everything that you're seeing and gives a nice clarity.
Okay, so Bloody, let me ask you this question though, and I gotta go to Rain because we gotta get to the next. We gotta get to the next two topics. We got 2 more topics left.
We ain't getting to no extra 2 topics because we're already going on 2.5 hours. I'm just saying that now.
It's not 2.5 hours. It's 2 and 11. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes. I got a timer right here. We'll knock them out. Because I'm gonna control the level of conversation. So, the point I want to do is this: ask you this question: what's more important to you, steady frames or 60 frames?
I want 60 frames, and I think that there absolutely should be a push for 60 frames. Now, especially on these next gen.
So you don't care about steady frames, as long as it's 60, you're cool with that.
Well, here's the thing. Shut up. Here's the thing. Especially coming from first-party studios, 60 frames absolutely should be. They have the most experience with these consoles because they've been working with them a lot longer. There is no reason that first-party studios should not be hitting 60 frames on their games
Okay, so
at all.
Do you want ray tracing or no ray tracing?
No, there should be an option to have no ray tracing if it helps to give 60 frames. Again, ray tracing is going towards the graphical fidelity and pushing higher resolution. And what ray tracing does is help to increase the lighting and certain details. It's an evolution on what we saw with volumetric lighting, because it's adding a new technology that's able to give that depth of lighting and be able to give more details. That's going towards resolution and graphical fidelity. There should be an option to absolutely focus on that. Yes.
Okay.
However,
so no. Hold on. We're not gonna go into it. We ain't gonna go into it. Like I said, I'm gonna go to live, and we're gonna get these. We're gonna knock these last two out. So I gotta slow it down for everybody, not just you. So the point I want to ask you this as well. So if they give the option between, HDR, because with HDR they can still do HDR with 60 frames per second, but let's just say ray tracing with HDR and it's a steady 30 frames per second, quality mode compared to a performance mode, you're going to always go with the performance mode, right?
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Livewire, give it to me. Let me know so we can get to the next topic. What do you think? All right. Okay, cool. That was real short and quick. I like that.
Wow,
All right,
bloody. This is your chance.
All right, no. He's good.
Damn it.
We gonna even do it. All right, so let's get to it. All right, Sony and Epic and Sony. Epic and Sony worked on a partnership. They basically, again, people are taking this little partnership and overblowing it, saying that pretty much Sony owns part of Epic and it's only 1.5%. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so what do you think that this partnership means? So, Livewire, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think that the partnership between Epic and Sony means? What will it consist of?
Man, I mean, I guess it could mean that they plan to do more, have their studios. Well, you know what? I don't even know if that's the case. I was thinking maybe their studios going to use Epic Games more, but I don't even know if that's the case. Maybe it's more so that they want to make sure that their console is better, or they wanted to have a partnership with Epic to make sure that their console worked well with their engine.
Mm-hmm.
So, they probably were privy to like the PS5 and trying to, make sure that was the case. Now, I mean, as far as the investment, I don't know, maybe they want some, like, cause I think Microsoft is investing in Steam, right? Don't they have like some money in Steam? If I'm not mistaken.
Say it again.
I think Microsoft has money in Steam, right?
Well, they have investments with they got good relationships with Epic and with Steam. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, so they might have money in both for all we know. How much? Who knows? But I mean, I don't think this is gonna like produce any like it's not like PlayStation's gonna get like special privileges over Xbox, because what they say the money was like 1%.
It was 200. Yeah, it was 1.5%. Yes.
Yeah, that's not, bro. That's nothing.
Yeah, what, 250 million. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot.
Well, it is a lot. Shit, we get 250 million. We balling. All of us is gonna go. We gonna go. We gonna take GRG
we're talking about
to an island.
Make a company money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot.
An island and kick it.
Till you figure out how much investment that is. Now, if they were talking about like 30, 40, 50%, then you were talking about some real shit happening.
Yeah, you're talking about 10-cent numbers.
You're talking about 1.5%. I don't even know if they're gonna get seats in the building like Jay-Z did. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll make sure they keep the lights on when they come visit. I don't know, but I mean, it's cool, but I don't. But other than just saying that they're invested into Epic Games, I don't really see much in it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let me go to you, Slayer. What do you think that this partnership means between Epic and Sony?
I'm gonna be quite blunt and kind of quick. 2 words, and one of them is Jack. I'll leave the other one to your imagination.
Oh wow, Jack Rabbit. Sony win.
Yo. The long and short of it is, 250 million is really a drop in the bucket. Like they say, 1.5%. There, you see what it is. Tim Sweeney has a tweet where he literally says, the deal between us and Sony was so that we did this, and this, all of which we've already done. And these were all public actions. Like, for example, was the trailer with the engine trailer, right? And in demoing this and doing this, there was like these things. I forget what they were, but if you look in his Twitter account, especially in reference to this whole debate, you'll definitely see the this tweet passed around, because it kills the debate, because there is none to be had. They paid this amount of money for him at Epic to do these things, which he's already done. So basically, deal over now. Other than their association with the engine, which Microsoft also similarly has one. I'm sure all the big developers all have a deal with Epic for their Unreal Engine. We know how pervasive that engine already is in gaming altogether. So it's that simple.
It is. All right, let me go to you, 100. What do you think that this partnership means between Sony and Epic?
Man, I saw somebody send me some stuff. They said, man, PlayStation owns Unreal Engine 5, and I lost my mind.
Is that where you going, 100? Sony owns Epic now.
Hey, they gave them this money.
Sorry,
and then they actually came at me and said 10 only gave up 150 million. That's before Fortnite came out and all that other stuff. Yeah, they own 40% of Epic. Well, guess what this is all is? When a PlayStation game comes out, it's going to come out on the Epic Game Store exclusive.
Oh, now you cooking.
All it is.
I was waiting for somebody to hit it, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Slayer didn't hit it, or
man, I can't hit it. Oh man, I gotta hit it and pass it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but that's all it is. It's just like, if we're gonna put it won't be on Steam and this and that. And they were like, well, it's not on Steam. It's not on the Windows Store. It's not on. That's all it is. And they're gonna have marketing. You might get a fresh skin on Fortnite before Xbox and somebody else get one. It ain't no big deal, because 1 point something, you gave up $250 million for 1.4, 1.5. You don't own. You even got to say so. You even got a cubicle. And I'm saying you ain't got no part. They treat you like the public.
You said he even got a cubicle. You said
like the public.
Did Sony even get a chair so they can sit there and at least listen to everybody talking? Okay,
no, they said we'll call you when we'll call you when we need you.
Poor Sony.
But you know what I'm saying? But they can't take that, because a lot of people invest. Like, okay, perfect example. Microsoft invested in the Tomb Raider series. Mm-hmm. They published the first title. Nobody's saying that they own Crystal Dynamics or Crytek and none of that other engine. We don't even know what that money even was. But Sony got to do something, because I'm telling you, they get nervous for next Thursday. You know what I'm saying? They get nervous. They got to take some type of limelight. But I don't play. I know Fortnite makes a good lot of money. So say if you go to next E3, you just might see Fortnite on Sony machines, because they invested that money. That's all you're gonna see. It's gonna be something petty. They don't have no engine. They don't have zero say so. If somebody gonna have a say so, it's Tencent.
Yeah.
So they own 40%. They'll listen to them before they listen to Sony.
Yep.
And then what they say, this partnership is not got nothing to do with no exclusives, nothing. That's all I got to say about that. They can go take that to the bank.
All right, cool. All right, so Bloody, what is your thoughts on this, man? What do you think that this partnership means overall? Give me the skinny, man.
Basically, Sony just wanted to put a little bit of money into a company that they have a relationship with, gives them a little bit back. helps out a little bit more. But I mean, overall, they have just like the biggest minority share in Epic and anything. It might give them access to you, like everyone else said, more marketing. They're going to do more partnerships. So we're more than likely outside of Horizon Zero Dawn going on I believe it's going to be in Steam on PC, but more than likely we might see more of their stuff like everyone else said on Epic. We already see that basically Microsoft is either selling it in the Windows Store on the Microsoft Store, or it's going in Steam with theirs. So we're probably going to see Sony do a different competitor to Steam, which is going to be Epic Game Store, because Stadia ain't going to beat anyone's partner on anything. So they need someone that they can.
Where did the shade on Stadia come from? Why did you have to do that, Bloody? That's just
From everywhere, baby.
Yeah,
everywhere.
That's just messy. That's just messy, man. Stadia for the win. But keep going though, man. What's wrong?
Big L's for Stadia.
Man, watch y'all's mouth, man. Stadia for the win. Man.
Stadia doesn't even believe in Stadia. Mega, you're the only one.
Stop it. Okay, go ahead and make your point.
The biggest thing is that we're just going to see that there's just going to be a bit more of a financial partnership into Epic. We've seen that plenty of companies will invest in other companies as just a way to kind of do support and also get more front row access towards partnerships and doing exclusive marketing and things like that. Will it amount to anything more? Probably not. The fact is that what Epic does with the Unreal Engine is very open third-party software that everyone uses. They're not going to suddenly get exclusive proprietary rights to anything with the Unreal Engine. They couldn't do that if they wanted to. But we'll just probably see more of their stuff going directly and working with Epic, either through the game store or more collaborations and stuff in the future. But for the most part, it kind of amounts to dick all in realistic aspects.
Just disrespectful. All right, PK, you gonna send us home then we get to our last topic. I've told you, man, and we gonna have that control too, so we can get out of here. So PK, what do you think that this means altogether, man? I mean, a lot of people are really hyped. They were even coming with this notion that Sony now owns Epic, and so now that engine is theirs on top of the Decima engine and Sucker Punch engine and all these other engines that Sony has in their wake. So what's going on, man? I mean, what does this all mean at the end of the day?
Well, let's start with the fact that.
I'm sorry, PK. I got to do this. I'm sorry. Sir X Man, I was trying to do that right before 100 got started. Sir X Man in the chat, he says, if Sony gets Unreal Tournament 4, I'm going to be so mad and I can't play it on my Xbox. I know you've been really clamoring about Unreal Tournament 4. And Infernal Lock says this partnership is exactly Microsoft's doing. The Steam store, Stadia sucks. Sorry, my bro. Sorry, my boy, though. Listen. I will not tolerate this insolence. Whatever. Go ahead, PK. Y'all disrespectful. Stadia, man.
Hey, hang on, K-Mega. I gotta ask you right now. What are you playing on Stadia?
Nothing at the present time,
exactly.
Man.
Nothing.
Stop it.
No, you're not playing anything on Stadia because guess what? Everything in Stadia you gotta buy that you already have on your Xbox. Get out of here.
Hold on. Let me explain something to you right now because you know what I'm saying, because of my situation. Listen, I got hurt at work. So my money is funny. So I'm being more, you know what I'm saying, responsible with what I get.
But K-Mega, what about those 3 months of Stadia Pro that they were giving away?
Getting some money and getting this shit together,
Stadia
is going to be the first thing I get. Stadia is going to be right there with my xCloud. Stadia xCloud Unison. It's gonna be amazing. Cloud gaming and it's fun.
That'll stick with that motherfucker.
You know what? I ain't gonna tolerate this insolence, gentlemen. Anyway, PK, go ahead and let's finish this stuff so we get to our last topic.
It's called hashtag facts.
Oh snap!
PK, What was you gonna say? Hey man, if you're gonna do it,
Yeah,
do it right.
You know how I do.
You're
I'm
gonna do the cold-blooded, do it right.
Cold-blooded.
Okay, that's better. That's better. All right, PK, go ahead, man. Y'all do this right.
So I wanted to start to say 250 million is about what Epic makes per month on Fortnite, so that ain't nothing. They actually make more than that, approximately 300 million a month just on Fortnite alone. So yeah, 250
Damn.
million.
A month? A month?
So you saying PlayStation gave them DLC money?
Yeah, a month.
They gave Miles Morales money. So you said PlayStation gave Miles Morales money to Epic, and then people are thinking that Epic and PlayStation that the Epic is owned by PlayStation now. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they need to.
I'm gonna clip that, and I'm gonna post that.
Epic is not hurting for money. Okay, they're not. They're not hurting for money. But what they are hurting for is content, and they need more than their Monster Hunter version of, their bootleg Monster Hunter and Fortnite to keep that going. So, of course, they're working with Sony because a lot of their exclusives are going to the Epic Store first for like 6 months, like some sort of time exclusive before they head over to Steam. So that makes more sense if there's a God of War that shows up on the Epic Store. Kind of like Detroit Becomes Human was on Epic Store first, and then it came on Steam.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what they truly hurting for. They're not hurting for money, but they're hurting for content. So in my mind, it makes sense to work with Sony to get some of their games on their store to get people to download their launcher, even though I would never do it anyway. But that's just me. Another side of this is it's also promotions from Epic for Sony. So, of course, Sony ain't going to just give money and not get nothing in return. So there's definitely going to be some promotions on the Epic side to necessarily exclusive. Like they might get something, kind of like how Monster Hunter gets some exclusive skins for the PlayStation version you can't get on the PC or Xbox version. It's going to be something like that, where it's some sort of cross promotion thing that only they have, that no other platform has, just to give them some extra to do. And like I said, unless they doing like 10 Cent just buying up everybody.
I would say they ain't got to worry about money because they got that 10 cent money. And if you want to know how much 10 cent put into them, billions, because those motherfuckers owe 40%.
40%. First of all, Bloody, let's stop giving 10 Cent props because they are horrible.
No, I ain't giving them props. I'm just saying Epic ain't hurting for money because they got that 10 cent money. But it ain't good because even Tim Sweeney be like, hey, man, don't trust them. I'll take their money, but I don't trust them.
But yeah, so at the end of the day, all I got to say is it's going to be a cross promotion, and Epic needs content, Sony needs sales. It works. It's a win-win, and I don't think nothing more than that. I mean, they might get. They're not gonna. The engine ain't. That's not nothing. Nothing to do with the engine. It's going to be about games. Who's going to promote it and who's going to sell it? That's all it's about.
Okay, I totally agree. Quick point on what I think. I think that this is more for Sony having the marketing rights for Fortnite because Fortnite is huge and at the present time, until the next game comes out that overtakes Fortnite. And that's a smart decision for Sony so they can have the marketing rights for that. I think that's where most of their money comes from. I do think that PlayStation will have more money. I mean, we'll have new IPs, if not maybe a couple of older ones that they might bring back, utilizing the Unreal Engine 5, and also and it also, like what everybody else has alluded to, is because Sony is that's why they made that logo Sony Studios. Christopher Hart, eat your heart out, bro, because that's exactly what they did. That's the reason why they did it. We talked about it months ago, and I see other people now starting to talk about it. If you want your news, GRG is where you get it at. We talk about stuff months before all these other cats start talking about it. I said something about that on top of everybody else. I made it a topic of what's going on here 2 months ago about that article that came from Game of Sutra. I sure the hell did. Bloody, you was there. Lemon was there. Well, no, Lemon wasn't there. Lemon was sick. 100 was there. All of us was here, and we talked about it. And the people that are honorary GRG listeners, they heard us talk about it. Now people are starting to understand. I said it then, and I'll say it now. When they changed their logo to PlayStation Studios, they were already giving the indication that they were about to start moving their games over to PC and to maybe even mobile. They already have games on mobile. So there you go. All right, so last topic. Let's get the hell out of here. I got some streaming to do. And so and I'm going to ask you guys before I leave the show, what game should I stream tonight? I don't know. So WB games, we're going to talk about this probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So get ready. This is going to be a topic that we're just going to continuously talk about until we hear somebody acquires WB, or if it you know what I'm saying, until that point, or until somebody says no, negotiations fell through. So you know what? I'm going to leave this as a free fall for anybody to jump in and to take it, and then I'm going to put you on a timer, and then once you get past that time, I'm going to say, shut the hell up, get to the next person. So,
Yeah.
So this is the thing right here, right? Okay, so it's there was a little poll of who people would want to have to acquire WB games, and it was 67 to 70% of all these people that took it. Was thousands of people that made that made that point. They're saying that they would want Microsoft to get it. A lot of people is tagging Phil, Matt Booty, Aaron Greenberg, everybody that's important. You know what I'm saying? Nadala, all these people is like, look.
Hey, K-Mega, before you go on, right? Got a shout out to Infernal Lock with that $5 holla. He said, hey, have you seen Infinity War? Google is Thanos and Stadia's Gamora, and Google low-key threw Stadia off the cliff.
Oh, he said in the volcano, not a cliff.
But that's exactly what it was. It was a cliff, not a volcano. I was making sure. Hey, listen, I was making sure his reference was right.
Chat. Say it right.
Either way, he's saying that
volcano.
They threw him in.
Okay, we're going left, dude. It doesn't matter.
All right, yeah. You know, and you want to sit there and talk about, well, wait. Anyway, so that's the thing. What I want to know is, okay, this is all I want to know. Because like I said, there will be more speculation about this until we find out something. How important is it for Xbox to try to get WB games into their Xbox studios?
Well, listen here. I just want to go first because I just want to say what I got to say, and then unfortunately I have to immediately leave. Okay. But basically, like before when we spoke on this thing, I was like, it's a lot of money and a lot of pieces. But Microsoft really needs to put their all into this. If they could do this, this could be another big coup in my mind. If they did this, and I feel like not only would it would be a great and obvious pickup for Microsoft and all the advantages that brings. I don't think I need to spell that out, but I feel like WB Games would want to be bought by them. You know, that the deal would be beneficial on both sides.
I think they want whoever has the money. I don't think they care whoever buys them. I think they want.
They want someone who's serious. If they
word on the street is they don't want to go to EA.
What? Okay. You said word on the street that they don't want to.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to mess with EA, and Activision just got burned out by Bungie. So
right, and EA is known.
But Tencent supports though Activision.
But,
so I would think
Tencent. But think about it, Tencent. I don't think Tencent only can do so much. I know they got a whole lot of money, but you think about it, Tencent buy independent companies. They don't buy a group at all at one time. They buy knockoffs.
No, they build knockoffs.
Yeah. They're not building.
Yeah,
They're
well,
not
Tencent's
giving
not
you
in
the
the bidding
full.
war
They're
for
not
WB,
buying
by
like
the way.
they're not buying
You
like
guys
all this.
thinking
Like,
about
what they
Take-Two.
just bought? They just bought Warframe, right? This morning they bought Warframe, right? But they bought the parent company.
Oh, did they
that
buy
runs
Warframe? I know that they were trying to acquire Warframe.
They got Warframe, but they
They're in
got the parent
talks.
company that runs
They're in
Warframe.
talks with them. It's not a done
They're
deal
talking.
yet.
Yeah, it's not a done
Man,
deal.
that shit a done deal. They got money. That's a done deal. That's a done deal.
Woo.
That's a done deal.
So you saying that it's over? They are, you know.
And so, the thing about it, Warframe, that's one game that person owns, and that's a free to play. Or play to win.
It's a good game.
You know what I'm saying? But thing about Tencent got their money in Bungie now, and a whole lot of people. Thing about it is they like a virus. You know what I'm saying? They'll sick you in and sick your ass in there, and then eventually they'll try to take over. They'll try to play a cool game. If you ain't on point, you take their money, you don't give them their money back. It's like a mafia. And then what I heard was, like I said, What's called it said they didn't want to mess with EA. It's like, you know how you're an NBA player or NFL player and you like, I don't want to go to a certain team.
Yeah.
Because remember before, think about it, the price even went up by $1 billion. Let's think about it. It was $3 million when we first talked about it, $3 billion. Now it's $4 billion. So if you $4 billion, what I'm getting out this $4 billion, because we action another $1 billion into the game. So when I'm getting out this $4 billion, if I'm gonna give you $4 billion, because I got the $4 billion, $4 billion ain't nothing. I have it. But think about it, people don't understand when you start playing with these numbers, matter of fact, Matt Booty came on, talked about this yesterday. He said Minecraft and the makers of Minecraft, I can't think of their name right now.
Mojang.
And Mojang, teach them how to buy studios and teach them how to make money off their studios. So if they feel like if it's worth it, they're gonna go for it. But you have to give to receive. Now, if I think about it is when you're in negotiations, they might say, hey, 2K said they're gonna give us 5. Well, give it to 5 then. You know, it's a give and take. It's crazy, but that's and we don't know when this negotiation's been happening. Because usually negotiations, they don't talk. If I negotiate make his whole life so he can go to the world of sin, I'm not telling nobody.
Nope, I ain't saying nothing until it happens. Because I gotta test it out.
But I mean, it's more than money involved in this situation because we're talking
it's
about
licensing deals and stuff like that. I know it's about the licensing deal. I'll put it this way.
Well, no, it's about all these developers.
It's about all these
I'll put it this way.
studios.
You can break them. You can buy them. Okay, perfect example. Killer Instinct. Who they owned by? Y'all can't do it. I'm telling you.
It's not Iron Galaxy anymore.
No,
I said not Killer Instinct. I mean, Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm.
Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm, right? So say they get NetherRealm, but a part of the deal is NetherRealm. We'll let you go. As soon as we purchase, we'll let you go.
That would be the one I would want them to keep.
Yeah, but say if they didn't want to stay, like we'll let you go. But then say if they do keep NetherRealm and say NetherRealm, we're gonna do this. You know what? You can make the Mortal Kombat, you can make them multi-plat, but can we get a Killer Instinct? You know what I'm saying? Mortal Kombat that's exclusive to our thing, and they agreed to it. You forgot who we saw last E3.
No. Ed Boon said he wanted to work on Killer Instinct.
Yeah, but hang on. Who did we see? Who did we see at the Xbox booth?
We seen Ed Boon.
So think about it is how you know that wasn't a negotiation thing.
That's a point because Ed Boon said there because I said look, he says I'm working on the skin. He said I would love to work on a Thunder
and y'all
skin
think I'm
for
lying?
Mortal
We got
Kombat.
it on camera.
And I told Ed Boon, I got a picture of him on Instagram. I said, bro, if you could do anything, please make Killer Instinct. You know what I'm saying? I love all types of crossovers, but I said Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat. He said I would love it. I would love it too. And that was it. I ain't pressing people. I ain't that important to be pressing anybody, especially with somebody with people got that type of stature. You know what I'm saying? But I will say something to him to let him know what I feel.
When you talking deals, you got to make it like you just talking, right?
Yeah.
They want. You said let's Ed Boon. And I said, my back hurt. Y'all go.
Yeah, I went up to her. I got the picture. I said,
"Bro,
bro, I love your shit.
I set up a hold your spot in line because you wanted to play what you call it. I forgot what you wanted to play. I said, I'm gonna hold the spot in line. And you
was it Gears? No, it was Borderlands 3.
Yeah, Borderlands. Yeah. So I said, I'm gonna hold the
3.
spot in line because I said I can't. My back is killing me, and my job getting on my goddamn nerves, and I'm supposed to be off for the week. And so you and Lemon went over there. 108 went over there, and y'all talked to him. Yep. So I'm like, how we know that wasn't a prelude? Because that's how business deals happen.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. I just, you know what I'm saying, 49er for life is saying as long as the talent stays, I say buy them. No, I say buy them regardless if you know what I'm saying. NetherRealm and Rocksteady are I say 3. It's 3 of them out of all of them combined. I say buy them all. But if you can maintain Monolith, Rocksteady, and NetherRealm, and if everybody else wants to kind of go and then you can decide to pick and choose or whatever, that's fine. It's still worth it because you can put everything else that they have in other studios. I mean, in other studios that Xbox already has, and then work and try to get it. The main ingredient to me.
Did we talk the other night, or I forgot I was in the party with? And we said if that Nemesis system coming something.
That was us. It was me, you, and Don and them. Yeah.
We talked about that Nemesis system coming.
Boy, the Nemesis system. If it came to look, if Xbox, that's why I said Monolith is very important because if they could pull in that studio from Monolith that has access to the Nemesis system, just think about what kind of games that we could get.
Hey,
like if you
Mega,
put that in Gears,
Mega, think of the Nemesis system and something like Fable.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, it would be man. It is so important. Like, I don't even. I can't say what Xbox.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You ain't thinking about the Nemesis system and a game like Bug Snacks.
Man, that should be fire, boy. Bug Snacks with the Nemesis system. Oh man. But no, you a damn fool.
His old lady anyway. Gave him a coffee or a Gatorade.
No, she probably they drive it, so she probably gave him one of those little. Never mind. Let me stop. Let me get out of here. All right. Anybody else got to say anything so we can get the hell out of here? Because we gotta go. I got to get the streaming here in a little bit.
Man. Go ahead.
All I want to say is that the money that they were asking, only very few companies can offer that.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that we did know about, everyone's questionable. Activision always has a very, very shady practice and everyone's questionable. And after all the news that came out about how Bungie got caught up in Activision, what good old Marty O'Donnell said after everything that he went through, everyone knows better than to trust Activision. EA, we kind of seen the history that EA has. So those two are more than likely were immediate off the table. And then when the early reports that Microsoft was in it or in talks, we had to know that people forget that Warner Brothers, all their studios, especially like Monolith and them, they're in Seattle. They're near Xbox.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. No, but I'm saying some of them are. I was like, especially Monolith. I was like, that's in Seattle and that's close by. People forget that Phil was always very hyped about WB games, and they've showed them on their showcase, and especially when we saw what was it? Not Shadow of Mordor, but the War for Mordor, the second one.
Shadow of War, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow of War. He was talking about that at E3, and how he was saying that their neighbors there in Seattle. He was talking about their studio because Monolith is not that far. He saw that game before it came out, obviously, demoed it and put it up on their page.
It was marketed by Xbox. Yeah, he loved
it.
And listen, there's been so many other situations that made me kind of pull away from the media, from the gaming media. But after me playing and beating Shadow of War, I have a deep disdain, disgust that I waited so long to beat it. Because I was like, oh man, a lot of people are ripping this game, man. damn, Shadow of Mordor was so
That
good.
game is fire.
And bro,
Shadow of
after
Mordor was great.
I beat that game, and I was like, what? I understand the whole microtransaction aspect of it,
But it was
They
so
got rid of
minuscule.
that.
They made it seem like it was overly done and all this. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah.
They said the same. Remember, they said the same thing about Machine Gun Games and what they did with the new Wolfenstein Youngblood and stuff like that. I was about to say we've seen that media love to run a narrative and then people just jump in on it without even thinking or really going into it, and some exacerbate an issue.
Can I make a point on this, and we can
then we're gonna
close
get out
out?
of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say this.
Oh.
Lose.
Okay. Go
Oh,
ahead.
apparently it was too much to say.
It
that
was
just
too much to
disappeared.
say. You was fading out. What'd you say, PK?
I said Microsoft don't get into the talks to lose.
Yeah,
You're right.
You're not wrong.
Right. That's a great.
If Microsoft is in talks, it's more than likely. Like I said, look at some of the
They're not
people
going
that they
to ever
picked
show
up.
interest and not win that argument. Just saying.
That's a great point.
Microsoft, remember when it first came out,
here's
Microsoft
the other
was not
biggest
even
thing.
mentioned.
Remember, it's not just that they show interest and it don't amount to nothing. They also will want to cultivate talent before they sometimes, especially with smaller, before they just go straight out and acquire it. Double Fine was someone who absolutely wanted to stay dependent, but they're just like, hey, we want you. We don't need a second thought. But you look at like how they treated.
They announced they didn't hide it that they're interested.
Yeah.
I think that is telling because they usually keep their shit on the wraps. So if they're saying it and it's out there, they ain't in it to lose, homie. They're not gonna lose. No Take-Two.
Yeah,
no
but they
EA,
did.
no
Jeff said it. They didn't never say nothing.
No. Xbox came out and said it. Yeah, they said we're in talks.
They made an announcement.
Phil said that we always looking to acquire other companies, other studios.
But he was saying that they put out the public paperwork showing interest. That's what he's saying.
Right,
They put that out themselves.
And also, one last point was that that Phil Spencer did come out and say, we're not done acquiring studios. So that is an indication that they're like, look, if we do lose the WB, we still have other studios in mind. So listen, Phil Spencer go ahead live so we can get out of here.
What I was gonna say is like this studio, if they could get this acquisition, right? This would be the equivalence of Golden State Warriors picking up KG, right?
KD, not KG.
KD, my bad. So they just lost. They just had a bad loss. They won a 3-1, which is the 360, and then they lost in Game 7. So it was rough, right?
Yeah.
So they recruit, and they got a nice little squad together. But then all of a sudden, KD was like, "Yo, what's that?" Now if that happens, they be sitting pretty. Now the thing that I noticed is Microsoft has a lot of people campaigning for them to get the studios.
Yes.
And the reason being is because PlayStation, one, they can't afford it. But if they could, they would just, they would hold it just to the PlayStation. And a lot of people ain't gonna be fine with that because at least the PC guys know if Microsoft gets it, it's going to be on Steam, if not day one, close to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that's the reason why you don't see a lot of people, like especially PC guys, because when they was hating Xbox, they was hating them hard. But ever since Xbox games started going to PC, these motherfuckers just stopped bitching and complaining.
Yep, you're absolutely right. No, that's a perfect point. That's a good way to end the show with Livewire's expertise instead of him saying, what we talking about? That was perfect. That's perfect. Anyway, all right, so let's get the hell out of here. Thank you guys for coming and checking us out. As usual, hey man, we could try to get it under 3. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how this outro is going to work, but we're going to make it work. But Livewire, you was 100% spot on, man. I do agree with that 100%. PK, where can they find you at, man, other than on the road?
Usually in Cincinnati, but on Twitter at PKX Live and every Friday at GRG with my friends and family. And hopefully soon, once I get myself together, I'll have a project to open up to share with everybody.
Nice. It would be great. Your expertise is fantastic, and I can't wait for you and Slayer to actually start doing y'all's own stuff. You guys have a lot to offer to the gaming community, and I hope that the GRG family will follow you guys and support you just like they have supported us. So no doubt, no doubt. 100. Where can they find you at, bro?
Man, the local bar.
No,
Look.
no. You better have a mask.
I wonder we getting
By
into that.
local bar, he
We
means
ain't
his
getting into
back
that one,
room.
G.
Yeah,
I
we
saw
ain't gonna
that.
do
We
that.
ain't getting into that one, G.
Yeah. So where else can they find you other than there?
My bar's in my house. What you mean? Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I saw that.
He meant
thing.
his local bar, not everyone else's.
Yeah, my local bar is my bedroom.
Okay.
My local bar.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all can catch me on. I'm gonna do something tomorrow. I don't know what I'm thinking.
100. Why you so fancy? Why you flexing on everybody?
What you
got
mean?
a bar? You got a bar
I
in
ain't
your
got no bar in
bedroom?
my room. I just got a bottle, and I just like to drink.
Bedroom bar.
I just like to drink in my room. I game in my room.
Intro Media Gaming got money. Shit. Damn, we need to.
You know what I'm saying?
I
He
know,
flexing.
right? I know, right? That's still man. Damn.
Hey, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Oh
Damn.
my God. Anyway, where can they find you at, fool? Get out of here.
Man, y'all can find me. I might do something tomorrow. I got to think about it. Like I said, I might do something with my man Hebot or something. You know.
Shout out to Hebot.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all find me everywhere. You know, I'm the quiet assassin. You know, I'm the one that be hated. You know, I'm the Mr. Blacklister. So let's go. Y'all can find me. Just type in 100 and y'all see me. Bing. And I probably sleep half the time.
Damn. All right. So he sleep. He got a bar in his bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Intro Media Gaming. And you know what I'm saying? He might do something with Hebot. And he might not be chicken and get some more work from these LA
I ain't
Rams.
scared.
Hell yeah, everybody know what.
Yeah, I ain't scared.
Look about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta go to the store though. I'm almost out. Damn.
All right. Live Wire, where can they find you at, man?
They can find me on my channel. I know I've been saying this. Look, man, I've been busy,
been
man.
off a month
He ain't
and a
been
half.
doing nothing.
He ain't been doing
that daddy daycare.
Listen, I've been
nothing. He don't even be paying attention to half the damn topics.
He
What?
be daddy daycare.
You know why? Because you know, all right, depend. Like number one, I'm working at the same time. I'm on here.
Right.
Half the time, I'm editing for somebody.
Right.
So yeah, it'd be rough. But you know, I got to get some free time. See, once Daddy Daycare is up, then I'll be able to get my life back.
That 18 years from now, I don't know if GRG is gonna still be going 8 to damn because I'll be what in my 60s.
No,
damn,
no,
we be.
I'm talking about when you go back to
Y'all be geriatric motherfuckers.
I better be at least 100,000. 100. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 80 to 100,000 subscribers by then.
I was about to say you be kicking it hard from the old school folks.
Old school folks, for all the old school gamers. You know what I'm saying? Other Zinc over there banging with a cane, talking about Xbox for life.
He's showing how them senior citizens be getting down.
Xbox 9000 on their ass.
Wait, real quick question. Y'all see that Nintendo game that they promote? What's that thing called?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Ninjala?
You talking about Paper Mario?
No, not Paper Mario.
Ninjala.
Paper Mario's coming? I can't wait to
It looked like a
that
360 game. I just saw it up here.
You talking about Donkey Kong Country?
No, it's not. No. It's not a
Ninjala.
It's not a classic Nintendo game.
Live, we gotta get the hell out of here. What game is it?
Hurry up.
I'm scrolling down Twitter. They were just posting that shit all over Twitter.
All right, well, let's skip on to the next person until
All
he
right,
remembers.
Bloody, where can they find you at? Because I know Bloody about to. Yeah.
Man, they can find me all over the goddamn place. They can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and now on Twitch TV, where I be streaming 5 times a week at Bloody Nux. No underscore. It's all one word now, so y'all motherfuckers better make it easy to find me everywhere. You can also find me on my Facebook page. And, of course, every Friday here with you sons of bitches. And then, of course, over on my channel on YouTube and Twitch where we live stream the Smash Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things nerdy news and geeky goodness. So I'm going to dip my ass out of here. So you be streaming tonight. I'll be streaming tomorrow.
All right? Okay, you'll be streaming tonight. Oh,
Deadly Premonition.
You still streaming on Mixer? Well,
no, I am now fully on Twitch. So if anyone wants to find me, they can find me at twitch.tv/bloodynux.
Yes. Go ahead and go support my boy Bloody Knuckles. He works hard for the money. Hey,
For the
works
money.
hard for the money. With them Satan rings. Okay, all right, bye. That's out of here. All right, brother.
All right, calm down there, Beyonce.
You know what? Hey, I need to make some Beyonce money. Shit.
Hey, you know what they say, K Mega? If they like it, that they can put a ring on it.
Ugh, stop it. Get your ass out of here. All right, brother. Livewire, did you find the game? What's up?
Yeah, it's Deadly Premonition 2.
Okay. That's an old school game. That was on the 360.
It looked like a 360. It looked like a bad 360.
But you know what? That story in that game is absolutely amazing. It's a kind of a horror thriller. It's an RPG, but that game is fire though. It's backwards compat on Xbox. So pick that up. Livewire, that screams you. That game is really good, man.
Bro, I'm looking at the game. It looks very dated.
It's very dated, but that game is really good though. It's one of them cult classics, man. It
looks like it looks like a very early 360 game because it looks like
it came out the kind of like 2008, 2009, between 2008, 2010, 2008, 2011. So, it's very underrated. But yeah, no, Deadly Premonition is a good game. Matter of fact, I would love for Xbox to have at least try to bring a sequel to that. No, not yet. Yeah, we about to get out of here right here. So anyway, Livewire, is that it? All right, we cool. All right, so Infernal Lock, thank you. While we getting out of here, he said, what shit do you think Phil Spencer would wear on the 23rd? Man, I think he might wear a Battletoads shirt, or he might come with a Halo shirt. I think he might come with either Battletoads or Halo, or maybe even at the most probably a Joanna Dark shirt. What do you guys think? What kind of shirt do you think that Phil will wear on the 23rd?
I think he's spot on.
Okay.
I think it's one of those.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Infernal Lock said shirt. Yeah, but I knew exactly what you was talking about. All right, guys. We out of here. Thank you for coming out here, checking us out, man. We're right here. Almost about to hit that 3-hour mark. Man, perfect. Thank you. Check us out next week. I'll probably be streaming here a little bit later, probably an hour from now. If you're still awake, come and check me out on Twitch. KMega405. The Devin the Gamer will be making a return probably maybe next week, something like that. So we're trying to get adjusted to everything on Twitch. And yeah, man, we appreciate the support and the love, man, no doubt. So thank you so much. What do you got to say, Live?
I'm just looking at Twitter and Facebook, man. The hell is this? Messy Friday? Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Will Jada, Kiki Palmer, Austin. Yo, this shit is messy.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of messy stuff going on. But anyway, guys, we are out of here.
Ridiculous.
Thank you. Good night. Woo.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.